just ahead of him. Kenny Irwin makes a move on the bottom, and that's at 4th place. Trying to take Buckshot Jones with him. So they battle up in the front of the pack in the NAPA 300 at Daytona. 26 laps are complete. We'll be right back. He has Porsches at Daytona. Tony Raines is on pit road.
This is his second stop, Mike, in the last 10 laps or so. He was last year's Rookie of the Year winner in the Busch Series of NASCAR, but having problems here today.
Ralph Shaheen.
Jeff Green has made his way out of the infield care center. Jeff, can you tell me what happened?
Yeah, first of all, I put myself in a situation I should not have been in, and I took a chance I should not. I just told him my fault. I come down, and I thought I had a hole there to get down in front of the 26 car. He must have had a couple inches on me. He wasn't going to let off, which he's not in position to let off, I don't guess, but a lot of guys taking too many chances, and I guess I was one of them right there. That quick Chevy was awesome, but you got to finish on all four before you can ever finish. And hate it for my guys. They worked their tails off this weekend to get as fast as it was, and it was an awesome car. We were just biding our time to get up there, but nobody would ever give an inch to get in line and go, so it's a long race.
Bill Stevens?
Kevin Harvick having a great run in second place, but a problem with that car in the handling department, something we've heard a lot of this week. That car is pushing very badly. Says when he hits the corners and turns the steering wheel, feels like that right front tire is going to grind itself right off of the automobile.
Harvick, one of 12 drivers making his Daytona Busch Series debut today, and that number 2.
He has an awfully strong car, though. He has absolutely no help and able to run on the inside there with 2 cars that are hooked up in the draft. So Harvick's got a great car, but if it's pushing, that means the front end's losing grip, and when he turns into the corner, it loses a lot of time by scrubbing the front of the car.
And as a result of that, you see Ron Hornaday beginning to pull away a little bit as they race side by side back there. Now Harvick gets out in front of Jeff Purvis, and they'll try to line up single file, and that should help them, but no, that didn't last long, did it?
No,
Here comes that car on the outside again.
Purvis, number 4, Harvick, number 2. Right behind them, Ken's at 17 in the 00 red and yellow car of Buckshot Jones. Off turn 4.
Well, that is just about the point in the race where the good cars start to come to the front. You see Joe Nemechek starting to move up in that silver and black car there, starting in 26th spot. Now he's making his way up to the front. He's running 9th, as a matter of fact, right now. So these guys that have good handling and good balanced cars will start moving up and really make it tough on these guys that are having any kind of handling problems.
They've run a little more than a half of a gas run. We said 50 to 60 laps. They've run 33 laps, working their 34th right now. So, yes, as that fuel load goes down and the tires get heated up, that's when the good handling cars come to the forefront.
How about Jay Sauter up with that lead pack, number 43, from out of the Craftsman Truck Series. His dad, Jim Sauter, longtime campaigner in the Midwest, and has made 7 Daytona 500 starts. Tim Sauter, his brother's a racer. A lot of racing Sauters from Watsita, Wisconsin. Here's the Excedrin cam from Jason Keller's car and Arfredo's telemetry.
Very, very fast, too. 189 miles an hour. See the RPM, 1,600 there as he goes down. And you can see the back straightaway there. They have a huge stand that they put in a couple of years back. A lot of people here today watching this race. Big crowd.
And an unscheduled pit stop for another of the favorites here, Bobby Hamilton Jr. Coasted into the pits, or I say coasted in. Dick, what's his problem?
Well, we're not too sure. Right now, they're going to put 4 tires on it. This is clearly an unscheduled pit stop, Ned. He had been in the lead draft, running well, was involved in that earlier incident with Jeff Green, in which Green tipped over, and Bobby Hamilton Jr., a definite contender, has just gone down a lap.
Oh, a little bump and run there. Right stuck in the middle was Sauter.
And Sauter's still in trouble. He fought it all the way through 3 slides there and got that car back straight. Now, sometimes you get lucky, and that's a little bit of luck. When you break one of loose at 190 miles an hour, you're lucky if you get it back straight.
Skirmishing there with Kenny Irwin, 42, and 00 Buckshot Jones. This track is wide enough to run 4 cars, but at 190 miles an hour, there's just not a lot of room left. 26 laps complete. There's the front pack. Hornaday number 3, Harvick number 2, Purvis number 4.
And a lot of good cars just behind them there. They actually are closing in again. They have dropped back about 10 car lengths. The front 3, though, have not raced each other very hard at all. They've tried to keep that line where they're nose to tail.
Now, Jake Sauter's car continues to run in 7th place. Let's have another look at what happened here as he got squeezed in the middle.
He is in the middle, and right there, the back breaks loose. Now, the car is very loose right there. He wasn't actually hit. He tried to get the car back straight, and now it took a little turn to the right there, and he got it back straight. He is very lucky.
There was a bump. It was here going into the corner, maybe.
Mike, that outside car is just taking all the air and making a vacuum there that pulls the back of that car around. He was very lucky that that thing didn't spin out on him.
Sauter continues in 7th place. Now, is his car damaged?
No, it's not damaged. I would say right now, though, he says, I won't do that again.
Be careful which position he gets himself in. Bobby Hamilton Jr. comes back down pit road once again.
Yeah, right there, he should have said, I think I'll just check up and follow these guys and get in a draft there. Those 3 wide things, they're pretty for camera, but it's pretty aggravating when you're out there.
Pretty scary, too.
Dick Berggren?
Bobby Hamilton is on pit road again. This is a major problem. He has a broken right rear shock absorber or a broken right rear shock bracket. The tire had been rubbing on that shock absorber. That's why he came in to change it, but just changing the tire didn't get it done. They just told him to shut the engine off. He's going to be here for a while. He will not win the NAPA 300 today.
Field stringing out a bit behind the front 3. We've completed 38 laps here in the NAPA 300 at Daytona. We'll be right back.
NASCAR's official financial services provider. Step up.
Natural, real. I want to look the way I feel. I'm a Grecian man. Want it quick, hassle-free. A look that really looks like me. Grecian man. A Grecian man, no time for gray. A new generation, a whole new day.
Head for the mountains of Busch Beer, proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by Smooth Busch Beer, an easy-drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
1/3 of the NAPA Auto Parts 340 laps, 100 miles in the books. A couple of leaders, but behind there, the action intense. Lead's been swapped 3 times. Speed is down to 155 miles an hour. 1 caution. It was a big one for 4 laps. After Jeff Green switched lanes, got caught up with Bobby Hamilton, and at least, 4 cars were knocked out of that, as you can see right there. Let's rejoin Mike Joy.
Ken at the front, Ron Hornaday, Kevin Harvick, and Jeff Purvis have tried to break away from the rest of this field. There are 7 cars chasing them in a draft of their own, and then about a 14-car freight train. But there are the 3 leaders.
They pulled away by almost 2 seconds from the 4th place car, which is Kenny Irwin.
43 laps complete this time around, about a dozen laps before we'll see pit stops under green, perhaps, from the drivers who did not stop during that caution. There's Irwin's car in green, and you see the distance there from 3rd back to 4th. Doesn't look like much, but it's 1.6 seconds.
And the first 3 cars there, I think right now, are handling a little bit better than this other group. It's going to be hard to run them down, but if anybody can, Kenny Irwin can there in that green-nosed car just behind the first 3.
And another to watch is Nemechek. He is in 8th place. Number 87, the silver car dipping low on the racetrack as they enter turn 3. Nemechek making a run. Remember, he started 26th after having to requalify on the 2nd day. And he's got help there from Jay Sauter. I hope it's help.
That was a little more than help there. That got the 87 there. Joe Nemechek crossed up. He got it back straight in a hurry, but he got a little bump there as they started off the corner.
Back at the front, Hornaday running the lowest line on the track right against the yellow line, and thus is in no danger of losing the lead to Harvick, who's having to take a longer way around higher up the racetrack.
Yeah, and I noticed that Jeff Purvis in the 4 cars beginning to have a little higher line than 3 and 4 too. He tried to hold it down a second ago, but you see both cars going up the hill there. That means that they're not able to run down there with Hornaday, because if they could, they would.
There again, when those tires get heated up and the track gets a little bit slicker, they start moving up the track.
And we ride with Ron Hornaday.
Ron Hornaday Jr., I tell you what a driver this guy is. Look how still his hands are in the corner. He's just actually just kind of working that car very little bit of motion there as he starts out towards the back straightaway. But that is a good car. A lot of racing knowledge in that particular car. Dale Earnhardt Jr. won 2 years in a row, and basically that same car.
Hornaday's father, a great champion of stock car racing on the West Coast, and his son, Ronnie, the 3rd, now embarking on his own racing career.
Yeah, and he looks pretty good, too. It won't be long before all 3 of them can say, I've been a pretty good driver.
Dick Berggren.
Johnny Allen, who is Jeff Purvis' crew chief, just came to Ron Hornaday's pit, and they have cut a deal for the number 4 car currently running in 3rd spot and the number 3 that's currently leading to pit together. They are anticipating a pit stop for fuel and tires somewhere around lap 57. You better believe Harvick in the middle of that sandwich. He'll be in with them too, Mike.
Boy, he's going to school, Dick. It's only his 2nd career Busch Series start. Hornaday is a master of the Truck Series, and Jeff Purvis has led a lot of laps here at Daytona, so he's getting some good schooling right here.
And what I'm thinking is what a good eye Richard Childress has, because I didn't see that he had the potential to do what he's doing out there right now when he was in the truck division. But Richard Childress has always been able to recruit good drivers.
4th place battle side by side. Buckshot Jones takes his Pontiac underneath Kenny Irwin.
It's the run as he comes to the start-finish line, and he has the position.
Well, we'll see if that 2nd pack is any quicker with Jones in front. Right now, they are 2.6 seconds behind the lead draft. 47 laps completed Daytona, and pit stops coming up. CBS Sports coverage of the Napa Auto Parts 300 continues after this message and a word from your CBS station.
You think you're harder on your engine than most people? Well, good. Because there's a new motor oil made to take it. Introducing new Pennzoil Synthetic with Penzane. Penzane was developed for the space program and is used by NASA. Don't change your driving, just change your oil. Pennzoil Synthetic. It's rocket science for your car.
It's cool, it's fast, it's easy to use. It's the online automotive superstore with millions of brand name parts and accessories to choose from. Replacement parts, performance parts, free shipping too. It's the place on the web for people who really love their wheels. www.wrenchhead.com. Set up your own personalized garage today.
Wrenchhead.com.
Parts online all the time.
Daytona, Kenny Irwin stopped on lap 48. Joe Nemechek, lap 49. Lap 50, Adam Petty, Bobby Hamilton, and Mark Green make pit stops. Battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th on the speedway. Kenny Wallace, number 25, left side of your screen, has now moved up to the 4th spot. That's Terry Labonte, number 44. Buckshot Jones, the red car, and Randy LaJoie's in it as well.
Jay Salter in the 43 there, just behind the two you were just talking about. And these guys have been going at it like, and Randy LaJoie, the winner of the race last year here in the number 1 car.
Add to that Pat Casey Atwood, the 19-year-old, the number 27. And they're side by side for 2nd spot, Harvick and Purvis, number 4.
Ron Hornaday.
Oh, trouble. One car spinning across the racetrack to pit road. Here comes another into the grass. Hillen is spinning. Borkowski spinning, and Kenny Irwin drives through the grass to miss them both. Caution is out.
Kenny Irwin has a lot of damage to the front of his car, and you can see a lot of damage there on Borkowski's car.
Boy, a good break for those who were about to pit and had not pitted. Bad break for those who just had pitted a few laps ago.
This is Kenny Irwin's front view of Bell South Mobility Cam, and you see the damage to the front of his car. This is Mike Borkowski's, number 20. And Irwin is going to climb out.
And they had just made pit stops, or Irwin had just made a pit stop.
And all that smoke you could see in Kenny Irwin's car, that was tire smoke where he had been round and round down the front straightaway here and filled the inside of the race car up with smoke.
Kenny's okay. He's one of 8 drivers in this race that'll run in the 500 tomorrow. The rest of the field comes to the caution flag, and once the pits are open, should this bring everyone in, Ned?
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it, because many of them were scheduled for pit stops certainly within the next 10 laps. And you had a number of drivers. You mentioned Nemechek, Adam Petty, Kenny Irwin. Of course, Kenny's out of it now. Dave Steele has made a pit stop. Tony Raines has been in and out of the pits. So it's a bad break for those who made the green flag pit stop.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at this. Well, Kenny Irwin there in the middle. Bobby Hillen on the outside there. He gets a little tap as they start out of the corner in the 8 car. See Borkowski there fighting to get control back into Kenny Irwin and into the outside wall as they spin towards the grass down the front straightaway.
Hard to see if Hillen came down or Borkowski came way up the racetrack. Might have been a little of both. Let's watch from Kenny Irwin's on board and see.
Oh, yeah, I think the way car went up the racetrack.
Ow!
Kenny Irwin, who had just come out of the pits the lap before, was right in the middle of it.
And managed to avoid sliding back up onto the racetrack. From trackside. And again, watch the 20 car on the bottom.
That arrow push as they start off, that's the same thing that happened in the Bud Shootout the other day when the 40 car, Sterling Marlin, went up and made contact on the car outside of him.
Mike Borkowski's from Middlebury, Connecticut. He's a graduate and former champion of SCCA Sports 2000. He and fellow Indy Lights driver Chris Simmons climbed the ladder together. And this year, Borkowski's veered off and to go full-bodied stock car racing. This is Bobby Hillen's car being worked on pit road.
And it looks like you're going to have to do a lot of work with that car to get the hood where it'll just stay on the car. You can see it's very flimsy back there where the fender's been peeled off.
And of course, it'll kill his aerodynamic package. And he just can't be competitive. Pit road is still closed. A couple of cars came in, including Phil Parsons, when they came around the last time, but the leaders did not come in.
And we're under caution here at Daytona. The guy who gets tomorrow's news today is back with an all-new episode. Is someone after Gary's new girlfriend, or is she after Gary's money? Be surprised by an all-new early edition. That's tonight on CBS.
You know, Mike, one reason the cars didn't come in, when you have that much debris on the racetrack, you wait until the people go out there and clean up the racetrack, and then you come in and get the fresh tires. You don't want to put fresh tires on it. Go back out there and run through all that metal that they're picking up right now.
Ralph Sheen?
Mike, the 4 of Jeff Purvis is just running out of gas out on the racetrack right now, and they're hoping that they're going to open pit road this time by so that he can come down. And they have the fuel and the tires all set to go. He says he's planning on coming down one way or the other, whether the pit road's open or not, because he is going to be out of gas by the time he gets back around.
There's some workers out at the entrance of pit road, and that was one of the reasons they didn't open pit road the last time. Let's see if they will this time around.
And they do, Ned. There's the NASCAR official who stands behind the inside pit wall, protected there by that high concrete wall and a lot of steel cables. And the green flag that he now waves indicates not that the race is restarted, but that pit road is open.
And you could all see all the front cars there ran through that corner on the flat because they're getting low on fuel, and the pickup is on the right-hand side of that gas tank.
Jason Leffler may be out of gas. And here they all come to pit. Dick Bergman.
Ron Hornaday was ready to come in at any rate, but this caution flag could not have been timed more perfectly for him. His car is just a little bit loose. Tail end is hanging out, coming off the corners. They're going to put a half a round of wedge in it, make some adjustments with tire pressure, and he'll be out of here. Terrell.
Mike Gittin and Dave Hansen go to work on the right side of Jeff Purvis's number 4 machine. They've changed those tires. Now they go to work on the left side. This car's been very tight. They want to make an air pressure adjustment to this car. Bill Stevens.
Kevin Harvick and Matt Kenseth are both in at the same time. Both crews making changes on the tire pressures. 4 tires on both cars. Fuel going in. It's Harvick who's away first. And there goes Matt Kenseth.
Kenseth will come out 5th or 6th of those that pitted under this caution flag. Now, Joe Nemechek had just pitted. He was one of the fastest cars. But Nemechek will either be a lap down or the tail end of the lead lap when we go back to racing because the cars overlapped him under green prior to this caution flag coming out. So 55 laps are complete. The NAPA 300 at Daytona. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Maximum Protection, the authority for NAPA Gold filters. Today's driving conditions are severe, with frequent stopping and road dirt. But I hold 45% more dirt than the leading national brand. And that's important, because I help your engine last longer. So put me to work and get the maximum protection of NAPA Gold filters.
NAPA, over 200,000 parts, and every one's important.
Not one of these single-ingredient pain relievers is approved to fight migraine pain. In fact, only Excedrin Migraine has a formula approved by the FDA for fighting migraine pain. Only Excedrin Migraine attacks migraine pain with 2 proven pain relievers, plus an enhancing ingredient to make its pain relievers work even better. Excedrin Migraine is the only approved formula for migraine pain.
Greetings, television viewers. We are in the midst of a technological revolution, a time where anything as unbelievable as it may look or sound is possible. With that said, I'm here to tell you that you can have totally free internet service. That's right, read my lips. 100% free internet service. You never have to pay. Not now, not when pigs fly away, not ever. Good day.
This is power. Unstoppable power. The power in new Duracell Ultra, the most powerful alkaline battery in the world. The power for more pictures, faster flashes, more sound, and ultra performance in whatever it powers. New Duracell Ultra. More power, more life.
CBS Sports presentation of the NAPA Auto Parts 300 is sponsored by NAPA. Why do you need genuine NAPA replacement parts? Because some things can't be replaced. Excedrin Migraine for migraine pain relief. And by freeinternet.com. Get totally free internet access because the internet was meant to be free.
Welcome back to Daytona, where we're under caution for the second time today at 56 laps. Jason Leffler has finally coasted onto pit road. The crew pushed him into his stall. They're going to fuel him up, try to get him back out after 4 fresh tires and a tank of gasoline. Bill Parsons working there as well. Well, Ned Jarrett, have we seen the kind of patience that the NASCAR officials asked the drivers to exhibit today?
Basically, yes, Mike. We've seen a couple of incidents out there where patience did not take over where it should have, and as a result, we had caution flags. But with the cars bouncing around as much as we have seen some of them bouncing around this part of the race, I think that they've done pretty well.
22 gallons of gas, that's 150 pounds at the back of these cars. Buddy, did you see these cars handling a lot differently at the end of a long fuel run than at the beginning?
Yes, I did, and I noticed everybody in the field did something to their car to balance it, trying to get it better. And you can count on one thing. Some cars that might not have been up to full song, they'll be better now because they did get to work on them.
For some of these teams, it's the first time they've had a chance to make adjustments on pit road, and you see the official indicating 1 lap to go, and we'll go back to green. Ralph?
A lot of the crew chiefs and crew members of the NASCAR Winston Cup division have been down here looking at the tires, getting ready for tomorrow. Greg Zippadelli, crew chief for Tony Stewart's entry in tomorrow's Daytona 500, taking a look at the tires off of Jeff Purvis's car. In talking to these gentlemen, they're all saying the tires look good on long-distance runs and should be even better tomorrow because there'll be more rubber laid down on the racetrack.
Let's show you what happened here on pit road. There is the Jackman going out and around one of the cars.
That's Dick Trickle on the inside and Chad Chapin in the car number 77 on the outside.
You can see the Jackman completely on top of Dick Trickle's hood as he was stopping there.
Trickle's Jackman is George Landers. Mark Martin, Jackman in the Bud Shootout last Sunday, took a similar ride because Martin couldn't get stopped. It wasn't because of the traffic jam on pit road, but he is okay and likely will jack the car on Sunday. Frito's Inside Racing shows you look at a pit stop. Here's the NASCAR official in silver as the team goes to work. Jackman to the right side of the car, and in 2 seconds that car is in the air and tires are being changed while 11 gallons of fuel is dumped in here at the rear. As the tire changers come around to the left side, the fuel man gets his second can of gas at the back of the car. 9 seconds have elapsed. Tire changing continues. Second can of fuel is in. Catch can man signals okay, and in less than 17 seconds, you're back on track. Now, Ron Hornaday came into the pits first. He is now running in 7th. Jeff Purvis came in second, went out second. Kevin Harvick, third to third. Kenny Wallace held on to 4th. Terry Labonte lost a few spots on pit road as well. Dick Berggren?
George Landers is Dick Trickle's Jackman. You just took a wild ride, my friend. Are you okay?
Yeah, it was a little rough out there. 2 cars too tight coming in and ended up on his hood, but I'll be okay.
He's going to jack the car next time out, Mike.
That's tough. That's playing tough.
I'm going to tell you, though, these guys are athletes that work in the pits, and I've actually watched them jump with the jack in their hand, jump the whole front of a race car.
Whoa, look at Purvis in number 4, 3 abreast there, trying to fight his way back to the front.
Whoa. I see a little contact down the back straightaway. They're actually pushing Buckshot Jones down the back straightaway there with Hornaday. He was actually up under the car in front of him.
Here's Jones sweeping to the outside and looking for the lead.
This is one of the most dangerous parts of a race on a restart when everybody's bunched up together. They got new tires on their cars, and they'll take chances that they wouldn't normally take.
Well, Ned, it's not just racing at full speed on that restart. It's a 2.5-mile drag strip with 4 left turns in it.
Now, Joe Nemechek that's out front right now would like to see a caution. He made a pit stop not long ago, so he's fighting his way to get back in the lead lap right now.
Oh, Mike McLaughlin down to the inside of the racetrack on the apron. Either the Gold Pump Chevy's in trouble or Katie is about to give birth. The stork is still circling.
I bet the cars give up.
Yep, I'm afraid so.
Yeah.
Kenny Wallace, 25. Jeff Purvis, number 4, trying to put the move. Adam Petty, 45, just ahead.
Boy, you can see the cars dancing around in the corner there. They're not very stable. These guys are doing a great job of control.
And Adam Petty is one of those drivers that made a green flag pit stop, so he's being shown a lap down now.
Halfway in the NAPA 300 at Daytona. tomorrow, the Great American Race, the Daytona 500 on CBS.
That's the kind of debris you want to see on the racetrack. Did you see when the cars went by, it took off? So it wasn't a piece of metal, it was something else.
5 cars have broken away from this battle. Matt Kenseth on the inside of Purvis. Kenseth in that blue 17. He's got some drafting help as he tries to go to the front.
Going to try to foul back and get in on that outside lane. Their spotters work with them and tell them it's clear. Try to keep them informed of what's going on around them.
Report from the 48 car, broken fuel pump on Mike McLaughlin.
That's too bad. He was one of those 27 drivers that were 28 when he was out there on the lead lap. Nemechek is barely on the lead lap. He's at the tail end of it, but he's the last car on the lead lap.
Oh, trouble. 5 cars up in the wall at turn 1.
There's fire coming out of the car right up against the wall there.
77 is Chad Chaffin.
Hut Strickland in the 61.
And the car's still wrecking off, coming off of turn 2 on the backstretch.
A secondary collision in the back straightaway. Now there is Strickland has climbed out. He's okay. A lot of smoke still inside Chapin's car. Hutt's going to go to his aid.
And Joe Nemechek did get his lap back. He was in front of the leader when it came to the start-finish line.
Chad Chaffin is okay. And there is Adam Petty's car crashed hard in the back straightaway.
Wow, the nose completely flattened on that number 45 there. That's Hornaday.
Yes,
Ron. And the number 3 car.
And Casey Atwood. For the second time, Casey Atwood has come to Daytona, and his car has gone home in the dumpster.
And there's Elton Sawyer in car number 98, one of the 3 Fords in the field.
There's Adam Petty's car. You see Petty moving around inside, a little woozy.
Took a hard hit.
Yeah, there was actually 2 wrecks there.
There were?
They went through the wreck, and then coming off turn 2, they had more problems over there.
Here's Hornaday coming to pit road. That car wounded. Now there is turn 1, the accident location, where 61 Hut Strickland and Chad Chaffin came together. Now that's midway in turn 1. A couple of the other cars there at the bottom of the screen along with some of the safety vehicles, but the other wreck took place coming out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway.
Don't know if it was an aftermath or maybe somebody was still out of control when they came off of turn 2 and finally it caught up with them as they got started down the backstretch or whatever. Anyway, there was another wreck, and here's Hornaday in the pits. A lot of work to do on that car.
Adam Petty is climbing out.
Boy, that's good to see. There for a moment, he was really stunned. He was just barely moving around the car, but you see him starting to get a little more active now.
Look at the front end of that, buddy. He hit something hard.
Yeah, I tell you, that anytime you see the nose of the car just completely shoved straight back, well, the engine and everything probably moved in that car also.
Say hello to his great-granddad, Lee Petty, who's ailing back near home in Randleman, North Carolina.
Had some surgery about 10 days ago.
Hope he's okay.
Certainly wish him the best. Adam's still a little bit woozy
yeah,
as
he's
he
a
walks
little groggy there. I tell you, they take him over to the care center here, and it's a well-staffed infield here, a hospital that they take all the drivers. It's mandatory you go once you're in a wreck here in Daytona.
The turn 1 crash was Hut Strickland and Chad Chaffin. In the backstretch, Elton Sawyer, Adam Petty, this car, Ron Hornaday, and Casey Atwood. Well, let's try to figure out what happened here as we watch Joe Nemechek leave pit lane. Heading for turn 1.
See, the cars are all bunched up together going into the turn.
Okay, right there, you can see the 77 car, Chad Chaffin, getting in trouble. He goes up and collects Hut Strickland in 61. Fire breaks out as they slide along the wall, and you can see many other cars involved in the accident just behind there.
And some cars taking evasive action, getting down on the flat part of the racetrack and coming on around. Now, whether when they came off of that flat part, that caused the second wreck, don't know yet.
Well, Elton Sawyer got into those two. That's what damaged his car, and there was one other car that hit the two of them. There's the aftermath. And the initial contact appeared to be from Jack Sprague. That is Hornaday's car down at the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, they all stopped on the back straightaway. The real wreck was over going into turn 1 there. Wow.
Looks like fuel pump broken off one of those cars up in the left front location. Those are the flames you see. Most of that smoke is tire smoke. The best news, everybody climbed out. Okay. Let's show you what Ron Hornaday saw. Now that's Chad Chaffin, the red car to his right.
Wow. He gets turned right in front of him.
There goes Casey Atwood, yeah, on the inside there.
And here's the second part of it. Off turn 2, Adam Petty hard in the wall.
You know, I saw a piece of a tire go up in the air there. It looked like he had a flat tire, and the actual part of the radial tire came off as he hit the wall there. So Adam Petty probably had a flat tire that triggered that.
From Randy LaJoy, watching Adam Petty in turn 2.
Yeah, you can see the tire itself came right off there. Adam Petty was in trouble. He actually went down on the flat there and then back up.
Could it have been that he maybe cut it from that other accident back there, came through that, and then it went flat as he came off that turn?
You're exactly right.
64 laps are complete. We're under the third caution of the day in the Napa 300.
I need a car? There's a whole new way to shop for a used car. No, a convertible, a red one, with under 15,000 miles.
Introducing Autotrader.com. With 1.5 million used cars updated daily, it's the biggest, best used car site on the planet.
You couldn't help me with a loan, could you? Can we help you?
Autotrader.com. Your car is waiting.
The family has always put in the forefront to protect the quality and the standards set by Adolphus Busch.
The deep sense of pride that my grandfather taught me, that my father continues to teach me.
I think he would be very happy that the generations of his family have practiced what he taught us.
The Pepsi 400 at Daytona International Speedway is NASCAR's 4th of July racing spectacular. Make your plans now to be at the world center of racing. Winston Cup champion Dale Jarrett will defend his Pepsi 400 title, but he'll have to beat Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, and the rest of NASCAR's best. For tickets, call 904-253-RACE or visit our website, The Pepsi 400, Saturday night, July 1st.
Are these your final numbers?
These are our final numbers.
What do you think, Jack? It looks pretty good from this end.
I never thought you guys could pull this one off.
Have we ever let you down?
Not yet. Hey, weren't you supposed to go away for your anniversary?
Oh, you know us. All work, no play.
Great job, guys. Great.
Well, back to the grind.
Thanks for the opportunity, Jack.
Nextel's i1000 Plus comes with a crystal clear speakerphone, so you can take care of business from anywhere. Nextel, how business gets done.
Go where you wanna go.
Many driving problems have been answered by Goodyear innovation. AquaTread wet traction, high-performance Eagles, all-terrain Wranglers, and AquaSteel run flat. That's serious technology. Freedom from worry. what's on the horizon? More new solutions for your peace of mind.
Serious freedom. Good year.
Welcome back to Daytona. We're still under caution. Todd Bodine has taken his number 66 to the garage area during this caution flag. Now let's see if we can figure out, did this car, number 15, touch the back of number 77, Chad Chaffin, trigger this down in turn 1?
As they go into the turn, watch closely. It's very hard to tell. He's up awfully close there right now. Right there, it does look like to me, Mike, that he might have touched him.
I'll go a step further. I saw the contact. He turned a little bit to the right and then turned back to get it back straight, and the back came out, so he did get touched.
Now, buddy, if you get into the back of somebody like that on a track like Daytona, do you lift to get him squared away? Or if you do you get caught up from everybody else?
Well, what you do, you try to give him enough time to recover, and you certainly wouldn't go back into him again, because if you do, you'll spin him out and probably cause a bigger wreck than they had.
Let's show you again what Ron Hornaday saw. That's Chapin on the outside, 77.
Oh, that was, from that angle, it looked like nobody was there, but
I think he'd already been hit before we saw him make that spin.
Ralph?
Mike, the crew is working on Ron Hornaday's car. He has crawled out. Ron, can you tell me what happened out there?
I can tell you, but I don't really know what happened. All I know is the 77 turned sideways, and there ain't no way, unless he blew a motor or something, you can get turned sideways, and he just came across in front of me. But it's a shame. Ron Hutter built us a great motor here, and the NAPA Chevrolet was running awesome. Jerry Kidd and the guys that, boy, the longer this thing ran, the faster the car got. With a little bit of an air push off the corner, so it's a shame. I mean, I hate to start the season this way, but we'll have to come back and run hard.
Dick Bergen?
Elton Sawyer had the fastest Ford in the field, but this thing is so wrecked, 2 mechanics had to jump on the hood and beat it down so he could find his way to the garage. What did it look like to you out there?
I know. We went off in the one there and was behind the 51 car, I believe, at the time. We're on the outside. And 77 car, I don't know if somebody got into him and lost a tire or whatever, but he turned sideways, and we went high to try to miss him, but, you know, he didn't have anywhere to go, and he came back up the racetrack, and I believe tore the front end of the Lysol car up pretty bad, but that's just the way it goes. We'll just try to get it fixed and get back out there for as many points as we can, and look forward to Rockingham.
Todd Bodine is also here in the garage. They are changing a radiator. Debris went through it. Mike?
Jason Jarrett in the pits for an extended stop. Couple more cars behind the wall, and there goes Adam Petty. The Napa Auto Parts 300 on CBS continues after this message and a word from your local CBS station.
I can see a shining star in my thoughts. You never far. Little moments, light as air. Perfect days everywhere. We belong together, you and I, forever.
I was one hurting cowboy. Heartburn hotter than a blown engine. And pain? The antacid I took didn't do the whole job. And Pepsi takes so long. Then I tried Alka-Seltzer. Man, if it didn't work a whole lot better.
Alka-Seltzer, the only one with the medicines to relieve all your symptoms.
Boy, it works fast.
And only Alka-Seltzer has the effervescent power to speed relief.
Alka-Seltzer. Made a believer out of me.
Get better relief. Get Alka-Seltzer.
Be a part of TV history. Dave returns to The Late Show Monday.
Slip off your shoes and slip away in time. Leave footprints in the shimmering sand and search for the perfect shell. Listen to the rhythmic sighs of the ocean and take a deep, relaxing breath. Travel down an unwinding road in your very own timeless classic, a Coachman motorhome. Then drink a toast to simple pleasures and celebrate this special time. Midstate RV Center, the world's largest Coachman dealer. Exit 46 off I-75 in Byron, Georgia.
You know, folks, for years I've been telling you about the best buys and the best trucks sold in Middle Georgia. And I got to tell you, this all-new lineup of Mazda Bulldog Cuss trucks got the competition beat hands down. Take a look at this Cab Plus. All sorts of room, exclusively at 5-star, just $219 a month. $219 a month. Folks, remember, the best buys and the best trucks sold anywhere in this world are 5-star Mazda, home of the famous Mazda Bulldog Cuss trucks. Right, Pee-wee?
That's right, Mark.
X-Files, tonight at 11:35.
Charlie had the mind of a child until a miracle gave him a chance to be like everyone else. But how long will it last? Matthew Modine and Kelly Williams in Flowers for Algernon, a CBS Showcase presentation, Sunday on CBS. Shift into gear with in-depth NASCAR coverage, including driver profiles presented by Fritos. Just click on racing at cbs.sportsline.com or on AOL, it's keyword CBS Sportsline. And later today, CBS Sports brings you live third-round coverage of the Nissan Open from the Riviera Country Club in Pacific Palisades. Bob Tway and Greg Chalmers at 9 under share the lead. Let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
One of the great things for Ron Hornaday is he's one of the drivers in Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. That means you get a lot of extra brain power. Look at Steve Neal here working the torch. Just behind him is Dave Charpentier from Steve Park's crew. He's over here. He's a former Winston Cup crew chief. And at the front of the car, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew chief and car chief, Tony Eury Sr. and Tony Eury Jr. A lot of brain power working on this car right now. Bill Stevens.
Ralph, Todd Berry is the crew chief for Kevin Harvick, having a great run today in second place. You made some tire adjustments. The last pit stop, air pressure. Is the car any better now?
Yeah, well, we hadn't run long enough here to tell. Longer in the runs, you know, things seem to get a little tight. But Kevin's doing a great job in this AC Delco Monte Carlo, and we just keep riding here under caution a couple more laps. We're going to make this thing on one stop.
Have you talked to him about the strategy here? Will he just sit tight for a while or make a run, or what have you guys been talking about?
No, we told him if he wanted to lead a lap, he could, but ideally we really don't want to lead a lot of them right here because it's kind of marginal on the gas thing, but I think we'll be fine.
It'll be interesting to see how this plays out later.
It's only Harvick's second career Busch Series start. He ran Rockingham last October, but was out of the race very early. Bakersfield, California driver, 24 years old and with a great career opportunity here. Getting set for the restart, Buckshot Jones out front. Harvick, Dillon, and Scott Pruitt up to fifth.
Blackman tell him to hold it, hold it, hold it, and here goes the green. You can see it, just the shadow of it, and here they accelerate.
Two rookies in the top 5 as we go back to green.
There are 20 cars on the lead lap. Bill Parsons is the last car on the lead lap. He made a late pit stop, perhaps trying to make it to the end on the fuel.
Cars on the lead lap started in the outside lane, lapped cars on the inside lane, so there'll be some shuffling here.
Yeah, it was scary. I thought they were going to stay single file for at least one straightaway, but that didn't happen. They're back double file just behind the first 3 cars as they come off turn 4.
Jeff Purvis back up there to the 3rd spot. Dick Berggren.
Chad Chapin, you were right in the middle of that big accident. What happened?
Well, I think we were actually at the beginning of it. We were coming down the short chute going into turn 1, and something just gave loose on the car. I believe we cut down a left rear tire. I know me and the 5 car made contact in the pit, and maybe he had knocked a piece of sheet metal in on the car or something. I either cut a tire down. Kind of felt like I got bumped from behind, but I don't really think I did. I think something cut down on the left rear and the car just turned around.
Everybody in the care center okay?
Yeah. Adam was bruised up a little bit, but he's fine, and Casey and Hutt, they're doing all right, so no injuries there.
Okay. Good luck next time.
The drivers don't have the instant replay that we have. He did get touched, but it might have been after the tire was starting to go down or something.
One of the lead cars, lead pack cars, Tim Fedor came in for a change of tires. Apparently he had a tire go down. He's going to go a lap down. Now there'll be 19 cars on the lead lap.
And Mike McLaughlin's back on track after replacing a fuel pump. 3 cars have broken away. Buckshot Jones, Kevin Harvick, and Jeff Purvis. And from 4th on back, it's 2 wide. Heavy traffic.
Yeah, that's right now the only reason they're not running 3 wide is there's not room to get up there. They're kind of squeezing out right now. The cars are really on fresh tires, and they're going pretty hard right now.
One of the most impressive runs here today has been that of Scott Pruitt. He started 19th. He fell back to 27th. Now he's in the top 5, and this is his first appearance on a super speedway as he gets ready for tomorrow's Daytona 500. Keep your eye on Scott Pruitt, number 97.
Pruitt started his career in go-karts, and except for a stint in Trans Am and International Motorsports Association GT cars. He's been an open wheeler most all his life, so drafting, a little new to him.
How do you spell go to school? He's fixing to go to school because there's a lot of guys that know how to draft, and he's going to catch himself right now. You can see he's getting on the outside of the racetrack, and he'll be in three-wide traffic here before too long. We'll see how he handles himself.
Here's Ford telemetry on board Jason Keller.
And you can see the miles per hour, about 189, as the RPMs fluctuate a little bit there, around 6,400, and then he had to back off a little bit.
Yeah, and you can see the car in front of him just kind of do that little twitch coming off turn 4. That's a very... I see a little bit of smoke off the right front corner of that blue car on the left there. See it?
Yes. Does appear to be some smoke. Maybe tire smoke. Looks like the fender was rubbing the tire a little bit.
That's Dave Steele, 82 on the left corner of your screen. Now he's got David Green, the 94 champion of the series, up alongside.
All I could see was blue. I couldn't read the number, but I did see smoke, I can tell you. And when you're back in that pack and you look up there and see a guy rubbing that right front like that, it kind of gets your attention.
I believe that he's gotten somebody's attention. Maybe he's going to try to come in, but he had made a green flag pit stop way back early before the big wreck and had gotten a lap down, but no, it looks like he's staying out there and he's right in the middle.
Yep, they're going to freight train past him. May feel that now. Is there enough shoulder on that tire that a little tire rub like that, you'd be okay?
Well, you always hope so, but that was pretty substantial. And right now, you can really see it as he hits the bumps in the corners there. It's just firing the smoke up out of the wheel well there. Well, I wouldn't say he's going to be able to just rub that tire like that.
But the best thing right now is Terry Labonte right behind him is telling his spotter, tell that guy's spotter he's got a tire rub.
Yes, they need to get him in the pits, really, because he's endangering himself as well as other drivers out there.
Labonte goes downstairs. He wants no further part of this.
Well, Mike, as we said that, it looks to me like right along there it's not smoking like it was. So maybe it just wore the shoulder of that tire off a little bit, but I'll have to wait and see as he goes in the corner.
They have posted him. They are giving him the black flag. NASCAR has, when we say posted, they have a neon sign as they come to the start-finish line, that his number was flashed up on it, which means that he does have to come into the pits.
That black flag means something is wrong. Go to your pits and get it fixed.
And that was pretty smart and a veteran move there. He got right up against the wall in case the tire did go away on him. He didn't have to run up the racetrack and hit the wall.
Hey, Pontiac's running first and third. There's a big fleet of Chevrolets, including that second-place car. The last time a Pontiac won this race, 1986, Dale Earnhardt. So Buckshot Jones leads them around to complete the 76th lap here at Daytona.
Boy, oh boy. Kevin Harvick, he just keeps on making me... You could see the hand signals there from the third-place car saying everything's going good. I think they're going to try to mount a charge there on the outside.
Now, Jeff Purvis, number 4, is between the two Richard Childress-owned cars. Kevin Harvick, number 2, and here's Steele on pit road, and you can see the damage along the right side of that car.
Yes, he has scraped the wall, or scraped another car. It looks like the wall.
For second place, Purvis goes for it. Gets it.
You can see Purvis was really on the charge there. He was trying the outside, couldn't get it done, went to the bottom and passed right along.
Steele gets his service, he gets back out, he'll go another lap down, but that's pretty impressive, buddy. He made that move by himself. He didn't have a whole lot of help when Purvis made that move.
Now that will put the Richard Childress-owned cars nose to tail. Harvick in the 2 and Mike Dillon 21. 77 laps complete at Daytona. Dave Steele avoids the big one. We'll be right back.
Not one of these single-ingredient pain relievers is approved to fight migraine pain. In fact, only Excedrin Migraine has a formula approved by the FDA for fighting migraine pain. Only Excedrin Migraine attacks migraine pain with 2 proven pain relievers, plus an enhancing ingredient to make its pain relievers work even better. Excedrin Migraine is the only approved formula for migraine pain.
You missed a spot.
Presenting A Day at the Gordons, where racing champion Jeff Gordon and his wife Brooke eat new Fritos Chili and Scoops, a hearty cup of chili and loads of Fritos corn chips. It's fast, it's filling, it's Fritos. Perfect for people on the go. New Fritos Chili and Scoops and Sloppy Joe and Scoops. Nothing goes faster.
It's cool, it's fast, it's easy to use. It's the online automotive superstore with millions of brand name parts and accessories to choose from. Replacement parts, performance parts, free shipping too. It's the place on the web for people who really love their wheels. www.wrenchhead.com. Set up your own personalized garage today. Wrenchhead.com. Parts online all the time.
It's tough to put your finger on it. That's something that powers some to get anything done. But when somebody's got this kind of drive, you'll know. Just look at their truck. Welcome to Ford Country, land of the Indestructibles, home of the F-Series, and stomping ground of the all-new Super Crew. It's out to take on anything. Just bring it on.
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by Ford. The latest innovations, the greatest tradition.
After 77 laps, 192.5 miles, we've had just 3 leaders, but lots of action. The average speed of 134 miles per hour. It has unwound here today with 3 cautions for 16 laps. And look at the attrition on this race. Remember at the outset, we talked about some of those legendary names with new first names. Well, Bobby Hamilton there, you see him knocked out. Kyle Petty has crashed out of the event. Adam Petty has crashed out of the event. And Jarrett is still very much in this. Jason Jarrett running in 18th, some 6 seconds back from the leader. Let's rejoin Mike Joy.
Ken, 4 cars have broken away from the field. You'll see 5 cars up in the front photo because they are joined by Matt Hutter a lap down. There's a look at Dick Trickle and the 11 car of Jason Jarrett. That's a familiar number, and there it is, 1965, Ned.
Yep, that's 1960. I was young one time.
Right out of GQ, too. Look at this.
Huh? Well, it's good to see a Jarrett back in number 11 again.
Was that right metallic blue, that car?
Yes, it was.
Bondy Long owned it.
Yep.
And he drove it.
That
did well.
That was a good race car that year. That was a favorite car. We managed to win the championship, of course. That would help to make it a favorite.
Well, the cars look a lot different today. And here they come. 4 of them on the lead lap, plus Matt Hutter is the 5th car in line. He is 1 lap down. Kenny Wallace behind them battles Matt Kenseth side by side for 6th place. But up front, Roy Buckshot Jones leads this field around. 29 years old from Norcross, Georgia. His dad owns the car, Sandy Jones. No relation to crew chief.
Billy Jones is the owner.
Yes, his dad, Buckshot's dad.
And right, Sandy, right. His crew chief, and right, no relations.
Ralph?
Mike, deals are being made now between Buckshot Jones and Jeff Purvis. They want to hook up and run together. Johnny Allen, crew chief for Jeff Purvis, said, yeah, we don't have a problem doing that, but, hey, we want to lead. Buckshot's crew said, yeah, we could do that. We'll see if they actually live up to it. Purvis is taking a look to make a run. And by the way, it is his 41st birthday today. This could be an early present.
Here he comes, Purvis to the lead.
Purvis, Harvick, and just behind them, Dillon. And also, Dillon has a little interest in the Harvick car. He is the son-in-law of Richard Childress, so they may, you know, team up and really go to the front.
I think that would be a natural that they would plan to do that, and there he is, following right along. Ryan Dillon had perhaps the best race of his career, especially on a super speedway.
Now, Buckshot Jones there just got clotheslined. They just ran him right to the back of the lead draft, buddy. How'd they do it?
Well, he just went up high, and the rest of them just clotheslined him. They all got on the inside and just motored right on by him. And we see it time and time again. A group of cars can just overhaul a guy. If he gets out of the draft, they just go right on by him.
We call it clotheslining because Buckshot, once he got up outside the draft, just got hung out to dry.
You got it.
Top left of your screen, Jason Keller, you see, and Scott Pruitt, 15th place in red there. That means he lost his space in the last lap, lost the position. But driver displayed in green on his position bar there has gained a position in the last lap. As you look at that rundown.
There's Terry Labonte in the 44 there, and Michael Waltrip also making a charge towards the front, and Randy LaJoy, who was in the pits for quite a while, but just behind them in the 25 car there, Kenny Wallace. He stopped, made a fuel stop just before they got the green flag. He may be the guy that can go the distance and win this thing.
Well, Joy stated, he said he was in the pits a while. I think they were just packing every ounce of gasoline they could in his car, so he might try it also.
Right behind Michael Waltrip, riding with Joe Nemechek, the Cellular One cam. Kenny Wallace to the inside. This is 8th and 9th place. Ranchette.com telemetry.
And 192 miles an hour as far into the straightaway as they head in the corner. Drops all the way down to 185 in the center part of the corner. And you can see the RPMs going down to 6,400. Now he's on the straightaway. He'll start to gain again.
Well, in pole qualifying, this was the fastest car. But when NASCAR checked it in post-qualifying inspection, they're only allowed to have a certain percentage of weight on each side of the car. And Nemechek did not meet that rule, so he had to requalify second day and come out of the back of the field from 26th to 8th.
And he's got an awfully good car. I just noticed he moved to the high side of the racetrack and was actually passing cars on the outside by himself.
Well, we've seen a few cars break away there a little while ago, but now others have moved in on them.
You know, when you're leading here, it's like you have a huge magnet on the back of your car. It seems like everybody wants to get there and race you. And Kevin Harvick right now is showing great maturity for lack of experience there, but Joe Nemechek in the silver car back there looks to be very, very strong.
Nemechek just moved past Randy LaJoy to take over 7th. Dick Berggren.
Well, Sandy Jones is Buckshot Jones' crew chief. We're getting on down to this thing, bud. What can you do about winning the race?
I don't really know. Them 4 guys ahead of us pretty fast. Right now, we're just trying to ride around, trying to save a little bit of fuel, but geez, it's funny, it runs just a little bit tight, so we're going to have to make a little another adjustment if we get another cost.
How far can you go on this load of fuel?
We got 3 calculators right now trying to figure that out.
Okay, good luck, Sandy.
The 4 cars in trouble. Purvis backing up, and Kevin Harvick's taking the bridle off. He's put number 2 out in front, and here is Purvis coming down to the bottom of the racetrack. Ralph.
Mike, there could be a problem with the number 4. They just radioed in. The car is getting very warm. It's up to 270 already. They're getting water ready down here so that if he has to dive down pit road, they will be ready to pour some cold water into that radiator. Johnny Allen, the crew chief, says, get ready, guys. He is coming down pit road.
Tough break for Purvis.
Wow, I tell you, when you start getting nose to tail like that, you notice the front of the car has quite a bit of tape on it. I noticed a second ago. That's the first thing they'll take off. They're raising the hood now. That's not a good sign.
Ralph?
The engine hood goes up. They're looking inside, trying to figure out where the problem is. Taking a look around. Nothing's seen just yet. They will fill the car up with fuel, and now they will check the water, checking the radiator. Looks like they're going to try to pump some cold water in and try to cool this car down. They hook it up, and they will start chugging water into the engine as quickly as they can. Pouring out the hot water and putting in the cold water is what they're doing.
Ralphie goes a lap down as they complete those repairs. And Jeff Purvis will not be a contender to win the NAPA 300. Kevin Harvick is out in front, and his teammate Mike Dillon has moved to 2nd.
They say the ultimate test of a car battery is to put it into a New York City cab. So we did. NAPA's new orbital battery is the first to store acid in leak-proof cells. That's important because it makes it virtually indestructible. More than we can say about the cab.
What did you do to my cab?
NAPA, over 200,000 parts, and every one is important.
Taxi.
Every professional knows some jobs are held to a higher standard. Precision isn't an option, it's a requirement. So for the jobs that really count, you know, the ones that reputations are built on, the pros reach for Porter Cable. Because some crowds are just not easily impressed. Porter Cable, for the jobs that really count.
Dad, you could go now.
Here's your regular internet homepage. And here's i1.com. You use it like Yahoo, Lycos, or other search engines. Only i1.com gives away $10,000 every day, $1 million a month, and $10 million on tax day. Which one would you choose?
Oh, I see. Someone's supposed to struggle with this, right? So let's bring out the blonde.
Just doing research.
I'll pick the one with all of the cash.
i1.com.
Yeah.
Introducing i1.com. Why wouldn't you?
Hey, what's up? Carson Daly here at a Pizza Hut parking lot talking free CDs. This is awesome. We've been camped out here for 3 days. Okay, here's the deal. You buy the Big New Yorker pizza for $9.99. Then you get a personal access code. You go online to cdnow.com, personalize your own free CD, choose 6 songs from their selection of over 200 hits, and they even mail it to you for free. Woo! So what's going to be on your CD? I want some stuff that expresses my youthful rage.
Rap. Alternative.
Yeah, I've got a Big New Yorker pizza for Jim. Wait, this is for Jim. Wait, who's paying for this?
It's not Monday, it's Mondave on CBS. Don't miss TV's 4 best comedies as you get ready to welcome David Letterman back to The Late Show. 4 all-new episodes, CBS Mondave. Sky-high views of today's Napa Auto Parts 300, courtesy of the Bud 1 Airship and Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. 92 laps complete. Kevin Harvick holds sway at the front of this field. But now it's Buckshot Jones on his tail and Terry Labonte, the 2-time Winston Cup champion.
And he's just been full of quiet in this race, as we've seen so many years over the years in all kinds of competition. He just sits there and lets them wear themselves out and sizes them up and makes his strike near the end of the race. He's positioned himself well. We're talking about Terry Labonte, perhaps the most experienced at drafting of anybody in this field.
And right behind him, 3 more Winston Cup drivers. Joe Nemechek, Kenny Wallace, Michael Walker.
Every one of them really good on this racetrack. So this thing is far from over. I would be tightening my seatbelts up about right now, realizing you're going to have to do something pretty special to win this race.
One thing you may have to do is stop for fuel. The timing of that last caution flag may not allow all of these cars to go the distance, maybe none of them.
I think it'll be very close for even those who prepared themselves. But he mentioned that Kenny Wallace had come in and Randy LaJoy came in late on that last caution flag, topped their fuel tank off. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody can.
Ralph?
Jeff Purvis had had such a great race going. Jeff, did you have any indication of the motor problem developing?
Well, right before we started having trouble, I told Johnny and them, I said, I got to get in the lead because the temperature gauge had jumped up, and I thought it's just because I was drafting behind some different cars that made us have a little bit more water temperature, but that wasn't the case. You know, boy, I hated for Porter Cable. His first race in Busch for him, and I really felt like we had a good chance of winning this race. We had a great car yesterday, and it's one of those things that knocked us out.
Bill Stevens.
Joe Nemechek started 26th after a green flag pit stop earlier in the race. He fell to 28th. He's now 4th. Crew chief Brian Patty, first of all, Joe have enough gas to go the rest of the way?
Oh, no problem. Wagner on a motor with a great engine. It's got great miles per gallon.
Does he have enough car to get to the front?
That could be a problem.
Nothing like an honest man here at the racetrack. To Dick Bergeron.
Well, you were talking about fuel mileage a moment ago, Mike. I am in Kevin Harvick's pit where crew chief Todd Berrier tells me they can make it all the way on fuel. No problem. You're also talking about Terry Labonte, and that's a wonderful story because his son, Justin, did all the testing in that car. Terry Labonte drove it just 1 lap prior to this race today. Ken Squire.
And what a story we have developing for the finish of this 300-miler. The kid from the streets of Bakersfield, California, Kevin Harvick, leading a rookie in this race. But here come the big guns. Labonte in 3rd, Nemechek 4th, Kenny Wallace 5th, Waltrip back there in 6th. They're beginning to rumble. They're moving toward that leader. Can Harvick hold on as a rookie and win the 300? We're going to know shortly. Here's Mike Joy.
Well, Terry Labonte, they call the Iceman, and he's been on ice here, biding his time. This is his 6th start in the 300 on Saturday, but he started over 80 races at Daytona, including 21 Daytona 500s and 21 Pepsi 400s. All of the experience in this field, no one has as much as Terry Labonte as getting to the front and winning.
I'm I'm looking back, even Jay Sauter back there, he's in that front group right now in the 43 car. No experience here to speak of, but he is doing one whale of a job. There's a lot of guys out there right now that are way beyond their years as far as experience right now, because every lap they make, that makes them a little more of a veteran here at Daytona.
Coming up later this afternoon on CBS Sports, we'll have coverage of Thursday's 125-mile qualifying races, the Gatorade 125's that set the field for tomorrow's Daytona 500. And you'll see those sprint races next year on CBS. Buddy Buckshot Jones has not made a move on Kevin Harvick. Why is he holding station in second place?
I think right now he's having the same thing that we've seen so many times this week. I think he has a little arrow push in the center part of the corner. I noticed the car got off the bottom of the racetrack and moved up to the center part of the racetrack. Terry Labonte went with him. That helped him a little bit to regain some speed down the straightaway.
Ned, those front three cars could not get away. Here comes the pack.
Yeah, the pack has caught up to him. And one guy that's, look at Matt Kenseth, car number 17. He's found a high groove up there by himself, but he's been passing some cars. Now, Randy LaJoie goes back around him after he had got it beside of him going into the turn, but he has passed several cars up there on that high side.
That's Mike Dillon on the inside of the racetrack battling Kenseth. They're going to drop in line behind him.
Yeah, but he's having handling problems also. Mike Dillon is. It hadn't been long ago that he was in second place in this race.
99 laps this time by. Kid Harvick leads them here at Daytona.
Head to the mountains of Busch Beer. Proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
Before I quit smoking, I asked my doctor, is Nicorette safe? And he said, of course Nicorette is safe. Smoking is not. Nicorette has been proven safe and effective in dozens of clinical trials. And Nicorette offers the Committed Quitter Support Program, which my doc said is clinically proven to increase my chances of success by up to 50%. And when he told me that only Nicorette comes in mint, I knew that that was the right choice for me. So I took my doctor's advice, and you know what? It worked.
You can do it. Nicorette can help. I don't know. I got no idea. Oh, you got me on that one. Not a clue. Beats me, buddy. Will? Search me. You're asking me?
Let's face it, nobody knows who's going to win in the NASCAR Busch Series. You won't find more unpredictable, more exciting racing anywhere. The NASCAR Busch Series. This is NASCAR.
Nobody knows.
It's cool, it's fast, it's easy to use. It's the online automotive superstore with millions of brand name parts and accessories to choose from. Replacement parts, performance parts, free shipping too. It's the place on the web for people who really love their wheels. www.wrenchhead.com. Set up your own personalized garage today. Wrenchhead.com. Parts online all the time.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
If you can't stop here, stop here for genuine Midas brakes. Now just $69.95 after rebate. Guaranteed nationwide for as long as you own your car. Next stop, go Midas.
We're under caution at Daytona. Michael Waltrip has just taken a stinging sidewinder flyer from the tri-oval down toward turn one. One car got in the back of him, and he went for a ride, and he's climbing out okay.
Under his own power. They're not having to help him out. That's a good sight.
I think that roof has been mashed down a little bit and closed the window area. Michael is a big guy anyway, and needs all the room he has. Throws his hand up, waves to the crowd. was a wild ride.
Waltrip will get into the ambulance for that mandatory trip to the care center, which has had a busy day. And there is no sheet metal left of the top of that windshield and leading edge of the roof. On Michael Waltrip's car, you can see where the windshield was and where it's all pushed down. Look at here. Ripped right through it. Is that abraded 1,000 feet down the asphalt?
And you notice the windshield is made out of a substance that does not break anymore. So a long time ago, that would have went up in the grandstand. So they're going along with safety all the time.
Michael was running in 6th position when this happened. He came by the start-finish line. Let's take a look at what did happen.
He's going to get a tap here, Ned, as he comes off the tri-oval down on the inside of the racetrack.
Right there. He gets touched right there. Now, this car goes way up in the air. When it turns around, you see it start to fly there. Turns completely up and pancakes right down on the roof.
That's what did all that roof damage you were talking about. Then it goes into a barrel roll.
Side over side, many, many times. Now it's on the nose of the car and then hits hard on the back.
That looked much like Ricky Rudd's flip here in 1984 in what was then the Busch Clash. Here's another look. Jay Sauter has a little push coming out of the tri-oval and just gets into Waltrip.
And they were just coming out of the tri-oval. At that point of the racetrack, you're almost out of control anyway, buddy, and just a little tap sent him around.
Absolutely. And the other thing, the roof flaps couldn't work because it went around so quickly, and the minute the back addressed the air, it went straight up in the air.
Buddy, the pits are open. Dick Bergman.
Kevin Harvick is in. He is going to take 2 tires. The 00. Buckshot Jones is beating him out. Childress wanted to take 4 tires on that number 2 car. The pit crew overruled him. They took 2 because they wanted the car to be a little looser.
Buddy, you've owned a race team. What happens when you overrule the man who signs the checks?
That's not a good thing. You will hear about that when you go home, I'll tell you that.
Wow, Michael Waltrip's number 7. Not much left.
Here he is.
And Jay Sauter, right there, they make contact. Jay Sauter turns to the outside, gets away from Waltrip. Right here, you can see the back come off the ground.
And then it digs in and starts that barrel roll. Normally you see that when it gets on the grass, but it started before it got off the pavement.
The good part of that wreck, they can make another car, but Michael Waltrip's okay. He walked to the ambulance.
That's here. Jay Sauter, he's trying to hold control of that car, but it slips up the racetrack with a little bit of push. And as Waltrip goes over, when he comes down on his roof.
Right on the roof, yes.
And then it just keeps carrying momentum. It starts to go.
You know, I raced for 35 years, and I never did that.
Good thing.
Never did that. Thank goodness.
Here's another look. You see the back end just lifts up off the ground. You see it's going to come right down on that, about the top of the windshield.
Any way you look at that, that was hard contact. That just tells you the cars are very, very strong.
You know, in recent years, NASCAR has mandated added bars to the roll cage, including one down the center of the windshield and one which would be where your vent window would be if cars still had those. And I think that bar, that vertical bar, helped prevent the windshield, the top of the windshield of Michael Waltrip's car from collapsing down on him, and certainly saved him from serious injury.
You're right, and that bar runs right down in that area of the windshield, and they call it the Earnhardt bar.
From Randy LaJoie. There's what's left of Michael Waltrip's car. We'll be back to Daytona after this.
I can see a shining star in my thoughts. You're never far. Little moments, light as air. Perfect days everywhere. We belong together, you and I.
Okay, you're on.
Hi, I'm Bob for freeinternet.com. Have a wonderful day.
Sweating like crazy. You got TV cameras all over you. The last thing you want on this white pumpy thing running down your arm. It's just rude.
We asked some of the hottest pros under the sun to switch antiperspirant.
Green visible solid? What's that? I would assume it goes on clear, but I'm not sure I believe that.
When your body heats up, Degree Invisible Solid releases extra protection with a clear difference.
Right there. See, there's no white stuff. The harder I work, the harder it works. No flaking, no funk, no Klingon.
Degree Invisible Solid. Works hard but never shows.
After the match, there's a ton of girls. You gotta be cool.
Not one of these single-ingredient pain relievers is approved to fight migraine pain. In fact, only Excedrin Migraine has a formula approved by the FDA for fighting migraine pain. Only Excedrin Migraine attacks migraine pain with 2 proven pain relievers, plus an enhancing ingredient to make its pain relievers work even better. Excedrin Migraine is the only approved formula for migraine pain.
People ask me why freeinternet.com chose me as their spokesperson. I'm a talking baby with an IQ of 140 for crying out loud. If not me, who? I was made for this job.
January 14th.
Letterman is in a New York hospital.
Late Night TV was left in the dark. Monday, David Letterman returns to The Late Show with Regis Philbin and Robin Williams.
Welcome back to the Napa Auto Parts 300, part of Speedweeks 2000 at Daytona, presented by Fritos. Michael Waltrip's car is a wreck. He is okay. Now, here's that bar I was talking about, right down from the windshield. Of course, there's support bars and structure all around here. Now there's one in the middle of the windshield. That bar at the vent window saved him. That's not the worst car Michael Waltrip's ever wrecked. If you want to see the car nobody can believe he climbed out of, go to the International Motorsports Hall of Fame at Talladega and see the one he wrecked at Bristol, Tennessee.
Go where you wanna go.
Many driving problems have been answered by Goodyear innovation. AquaTread wet traction, high-performance Eagles, all-terrain Wranglers, and AquaSteel run flat. That's serious technology. Freedom from worry. What's on the horizon? More new solutions for your peace of mind.
Serious freedom. Goodyear, Goodyear.
Where do you want to go for dinner?
I was thinking maybe Bob Evans, of course.
Did you hear their kids' meals are just $1.99?
I've never heard of it. I don't know about that. I only know how yummy the food is.
Bob Evans' kids' meals are yummy, with 11 wholesome, kid-friendly favorites, all priced at just $1.99. But you knew that, right?
No.
Yep, 11 yummy favorites, all for just $1.99.
Can't beat Bob Evans.
You drive the way you drive. That's just the way it is. And that's fine. Because there's a new motor oil made to take it. Introducing new Pennzoil Synthetic with Penzane. Penzane was developed for the space program and is used by NASA. Don't change your driving. Just change your oil. Pennzoil Synthetic. It's rocket science for your car.
Yesterday, to find good wood at a typical home improvement store, you had to search through stack after stack. Frankly, this was a waste of time. Today, with Lowe's exclusive Top Choice brand lumber, the search is over. Every piece is pre-inspected. Straighter, smoother, center cut, and graded prime. And Lowe's has all the other building materials you need, in stock at guaranteed low prices. Ambitious people rejoice and finish faster. Lowe's, improving home improvement.
Tonight on CBS, Sammo Hung and Chuck Norris, 2 martial arts masters, come together for the first time ever in a 2-hour martial law Walker spectacular. Tonight on CBS. And Sunday on 60 Minutes, if he's not your typical matinee idol, what is he? Find out when Oscar nominee Kevin Spacey gets the once-over from Leslie Stahl, Sunday on 60 Minutes. Getting set for the restart, Ralph.
Kevin Caldwell is the crew chief for Terry Labonte. Well, you stayed out on the racetrack, Kevin. Can you get all the way to the finish and win this thing?
Well, we're going to do our best. You know, Slim Jim Chevrolet's been pretty good most of the day. We kind of struggled a little bit here in the pits. you know, we really didn't feel like we wanted to put ourselves in that situation again. We're good on the old tires, like I said. We had a little trouble when we got to the 00, and we didn't feel like, you know, without a little bit of help, we were going to get by him, so we just opted to stay out.
How much of that decision was Terry's?
Well, we kind of hashed it all out, and it's like I told him, only he knows how good his car is. And, you know, like I said, we struggled a little bit in the pits. We're not going to make that gamble again. He felt like his car was good enough, so, hey, we stayed out.
Mike?
Let's go back to green and settle this one. Terry Labonte is on the point. Phil Parsons, who started this race more times than anyone else in the field, is that blue car in second. Jason Jarrett is third. They did not make pit stops under this yellow.
And I was going to point out about Phil Parsons. You know, he won at Talladega, so he is good on this type of racetrack.
Buckshot Jones is fourth. Randy LaJoy fifth. Mike Dillon sixth. Nemechek, Sauter, Harvick, and Kenny Wallace, who had a lug nut problem on his pit stop, back in 10th.
Labonte has been able to get himself a, what, about a 10-car length lead as those cars race side by side back there with the left cars.
Ned, all those cars on the inside lane are one or more laps down. Mark Green is the first one of those, and they're looking for running room too.
And somebody that's really desperate right now is Kevin Harvick. He's hung on the bottom lane there and can't get to the outside to make a run.
It's okay. Let's go 3 wide down toward turn 1.
Lifted it interesting. Well, got a miracle and a straight driving guy in the center. There was nothing happening there.
Well, they all got through it.
Backing up there, Jason Leffler, who's off the lead lap by 1. And Terry Labonte will have 80 Daytona starts worth of experience to figure out how to keep these young guns behind him.
Well, I know one thing. The Attaboy Award goes to the 2-car of Kevin Harvick. He made a move to the outside, passed about 5 cars, and now he's moved himself back into contention again.
Harvick in only his second Grand National start ever. As we watch from Joe Nemechek, now there's a lap car right behind the leader. The contenders will have to get past that 1-car cushion to have a shot at Terry Labonte.
Jason Jarrett got shuffled back there. About 4 or 5 cars went by him going into turn 1.
Hey, and here comes Kenny Wallace. Kenny Wallace is up for third. That lap car is Mark Green, 63. Harvick and Wallace trying to bear down.
Of course, Kenny's brother, Mike Wallace, won the truck race here at Daytona yesterday. He'd like to keep it in the Wallace family, knowing Rusty has a good chance in the Daytona 500 tomorrow.
You know, if I was racing again, I would want to be in that 2-car of Kevin Harvick. That thing is a rocket ship down the straightaway. But Kenny Wallace fights to the outside, trying to take that spot away on the outside, Mike.
Wallace in the orange car, and right behind him, the defending champion of this race, Randy LaJoy. Here they come on the high side.
Close racing here is Nemechek going 3 wide down on the inside. Well, look at this jostling around. Nemechek makes it work, getting around Jason Keller in the red and white number 57.
When you got a car as fast as Nemechek, you can go anywhere you want.
And Matt Kenseth in the 17 there has fought his way back into contention also. You know, when it gets close to showtime, you find out who has the muscle. These guys are going at it now. This isn't a dress rehearsal anymore.
Kenny Wallace has lost his partner. Number 1, LaJoy, goes to the inside lane behind that light blue car of Matt Kenseth.
Joe Nemechek in that silver car was down on the flat part of the racetrack as he entered turn 1.
17 cars on the lead lap.
Tim Labonte looking on. Terry tries to pick up a Daytona victory. Tomorrow, the great race, the Daytona 500. Terry Labonte will be one of those trying to win his first in some 20 years of trying.
Matt Kenseth got a run there and had to slow up just a little bit there for the 36 to 10 feet of one. Now he makes a move to the inside, 3 wide down the front straightaway.
Now this will get interesting if let somebody, well, the 36 car 10 feet gets out of the middle there.
And LaJoy pushes Harvick. Pushes him right through the tri-oval. Harvick crossed it up, hung on, and LaJoy pushed him into second place.
That's a classic example Well, you don't know what you can't do, because when he crossed up, a lot of people would have backed out and stacked up that whole group. He just stayed in the throttle and said, I'm going to have to do it.
You can't lift. You'll wreck with everybody behind you. Matt Kenseth to the inside, 17. Light blue car coming up for third.
Jay Sauter in the 43. How many times has he dropped back and made his way back up to the front?
LaJoy number 1, Wallace 25, and Buckshot Jones, 00, still looking for that front spot. But out front, Labonte hangs on. 7 laps to go. If they had torqued this field together, buddy, it just couldn't get any tighter.
Yep. And I'll tell you, Randy LaJoy in the 1 car now making his presence known on the outside there as he closes in side by side with Matt Kenseth as they head down the back straightaway.
Defending champion of this race, 2-time winner and 2-time Busch champion LaJoy, a fellow who doesn't know how to lose at Daytona. Knows how to win.
I bet Terry Labonte's saying, I hope I have a good mirror for this last lap, because he's going to have to use it.
Well, you said Harvick doesn't know what he can't do, so he goes with what he knows. He goes with Terry Labonte. Wherever Labonte moves, that number 2 of Harvick moves right with him.
That's a good, smart move, too, with his lack of experience, knowing Labonte has plenty of experience here. Hold it till the last lap or near the end of the race before you make that move. Let's go to the pits and Dick Berger.
In case Kevin Harvick needed a cheerleader, he just got one. His crew chief, Todd Berrier, just keyed the radio and said, get on up there. We need to lead this thing. And you bet he's trying, Mike Joy.
You bet. Now here comes Kenseth back on the inside. He's got a little drafting help from Jay Sauter down into turn 3. That's third place. He's fighting with number 1, Randy LaJoy. Oh, it's so close out of turn 4.
Mike, you can almost feel the tension these guys are going through right now. I've been in this situation, and you're trying to put yourself in a position to win, but you don't want to do something, maybe go to the high side and get hung up behind the car. So you don't know whether to really take a run at the lead right now or just kind of wait. But here comes Randy LaJoy on the outside for second place.
LaJoy trying to prove that Labonte is not the man in a position to win.
But look at Labonte pull right up in front of him to get help from that draft that he's creating there.
Now it's Harvick that leads the inside train, and now Labonte comes back down to the inside lane.
That's where his car works best.
Labonte going for his 12th career Busch Grand National Series win.
And he knows as long as he stays up there by himself and they're double wide behind him, there's no way they're going to make a move to take that number 1 spot away from him. Terry Labonte is now working out of the mirror.
They've got 4 laps to figure it out. Harvick back in line in second. LaJoy third. Behind him, Kenny Wallace, and on the inside, Matt Kenseth. You know, it looks like you'd want to be in the low groove because that's where Labonte is pulling them around the corners in the low groove.
Well, he's really doing it pretty smart. He goes on to the outside down the straightaways, the inside, and then back out. He's keeping these guys from getting a good run on the draft there.
Harvick right in his tire tracks, Ned.
Pulled right down there that time. He did what you wondered why they were not doing that. Got right on the back bumper of Terry Labonte.
And now the fight is side by side for third. LaJoy has to fend off Matt Kenseth at third place. 3 laps to go.
Kevin Harvick trying to move up to take that line away from Randy LaJoy. He had to back off just a little bit there. He lost momentum.
Nemechek made it 3 wide going into turn 1, and that number 87, you're riding with him. He's up to 4th place suddenly. He wants to be a contender. He's got a shot at it.
The bad part is he's out there right by himself. Now, Terry will go in and go to the bottom of the racetrack here. He has the benefit of the draft, and you can see him pulling the 1 car there, Randy LaJoy, in the center part of the corner.
Looking behind Randy LaJoy. Nemechek on the inside, and LaJoy clears Matt Kenseth, who drops him behind him.
Now they're smart. They're nose to tail and in line right now, but here comes LaJoy again.
2 laps to go. Can you hold your breath for 90 seconds?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you're running that well, you can do anything you have to do. Terry Labonte saying, please race, boys, behind me. Double wide there.
He likes that double wide view that he sees in his rearview mirror. And as you said, he's driving with the rear view mirror. He's going to whichever car gets the run, which right now is the 2 car. He's going to try to pull right in front of him. 2 cars trying to go to the high side. Let's see if Labonte, he moves right up there in front of him.
But here comes Kenseth, 17 on the bottom. He's going to draw even with Harvick. He's going to edge Harvick. He's going to have a chance for the lead. Here comes Kenseth.
Kenseth got sideways off the corner, but they're side by side back to the start-finish line. White flag.
Who wants it most? Nemechek on the bottom with Matt Kenseth. We know he can go 3 wide.
Terry Labonte now has no choice but to be on the outside this time. He needs for the 2 car to get up there very close behind him as Nemechek is moving up.
Nemechek is in the tire tracks there, and he's actually pushing the air there. It looks to me like we're drawing away. Matt Kenseth is moving out front.
This is it. From here out, nobody has any friends. Cambridge, Wisconsin's Matt Kenseth has the lead. Nemechek side by side with Labonte. Can he get there?
I think right now Matt Kenseth has the edge right now as they come off side by side. That gives him all the room in the world to work towards the flag.
Matt Kenseth wins the NAPA 300. Joe Nemechek holds off Terry Labonte for second. Jay Sauter edges Kevin Harvick for third. And from there on back, we're going to have to look at a lot of replay. What a race. 8th career victory for Matt Kenseth. He drives for Robbie Reiser in this Busch Series. Jack Roush and Mark Martin adopted Kenseth, brought him to Winston Cup in a car that Roush and Mark Martin own, and that's where he'll race all this season, is in Winston Cup.
Mike, can you imagine they're calling him a rookie tomorrow in the Daytona 500?
He'll have to carry that yellow stripe on his Winston Cup bumper all year. But he is a champion of the NAPA 300. Kenseth led laps 10 to 21, and then the final 2 laps. And we'll meet him in Victory Lane when we come back.
Hi, I'm Maximum Protection, the authority for NAPA Gold filters. Today's driving conditions are severe, with frequent stopping and road dirt. But I hold 45% more dirt than the leading national brand. And that's important, because I help your engine last longer. So put me to work and get the maximum protection of NAPA Gold filters.
NAPA, over 200,000 parts, and every one's important.
You missed a spot.
Presenting The Day at the Gordons, where racing champion Jeff Gordon and his wife Brooke eat new Fritos chili and scoops, a hearty cup of chili and loads of Fritos corn chips. It's fast, it's filling, it's Fritos. Perfect for people on the go. New Fritos chili and scoops and sloppy Joe and scoops. Nothing goes faster.
We need a car?
A minivan.
No.
An SUV.
With leather.
Blue.
Green.
Bluish green.
Introducing Autotrader.com, with 1.5 million used cars updated daily. It's the biggest, best used car site on the planet.
Now we need insurance.
And a loan.
Autotrader.com. Your car is waiting.
This is an ordinary cell phone. This is Nextel, and this is to change the way you do business thanks to Direct Connect, its digital two-way radio feature. Frank, you see it? Not yet. It ensures instant contact. Bridget.
Got it.
Cost a fraction of cellular. It just passed. And it makes other cell phones...
Ready? Now.
Obsolete.
Direct Connect from Nextel. How business gets done. 3 big games.
Yeah, SEC, Big Ten, going at it.
And St. John's at Duke.
A February frenzy.
Driving into March Madness.
On CBS.
CBS Sports presentation of the NAPA Auto Parts 300 is sponsored by NAPA. Why do you need genuine NAPA replacement parts? Because some things can't be replaced. Lowe's Home Improvement Warehouse. Lowe's improving home improvement. And by Pennzoil with Pure Base, made for the way you drive. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Take that Star of Tomorrow tag off Matt Kenseth. He's in Victory Lane at Daytona with Ken Squire.
1998, he finished 6th. In 99, he finished 4th, and he is the champion
of the 300 miles here today, the Napa Auto Parts event. Matt Kenseth of Cambridge, Wisconsin, with one of the most brilliant performances over those final 10 laps. Tell us about those final laps.
It was pretty scary. I had to make some moves out there I wasn't real proud of, but mainly I'm glad it was a safe race. Nobody got injured, but the Visine Chevrolet ran pretty good all day. It was just, it only run fast for 30 laps, and then I'd start pushing the front end real bad, and we came in and got a set of tires there at the end, and that's what we needed, and Joe Nemechek pulled behind me and pushed me to the win. I was pushing him to try to help him win at Talladega last year, and he run second, and then he pushed me this year, so I'm glad it was the last lap.
You shadowed the Winston Cup giant, Labonte, those last laps. You stayed right in his tracks.
Yeah, I tried to, you know, I didn't think we were going to get it done on the bottom. I got to thank Jay Sauter. He stayed with me all day, even a couple times I had to hang him out. He stayed with me and pushed me up in there, and we were side by side for so long, and my car was starting to push that I didn't think it was going to make it, but we did it.
It certainly did it. Congratulations to you for a beautiful ride.
Thanks a lot.
Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Joe Nemechek won this race in 1998. You needed a couple more laps today, though, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Matt Kenseth, heck of a driver. He is up there.
Well, you can finish second and still get a big kiss from Andrea.
Oh, yes. I tell you what, after everything we've been through this weekend, you know, I think we had the fastest car here, but fastest car doesn't always win. But the whole Cellular One, Nortel Networks, and the Kia Chevy, everything was great. Brian Patty made some good calls. We got right side tires there at the end, and probably the wildest race ever been in. The last 5 laps were just unbelievable. I needed a couple more.
Nice job. Terrell.
Terry Labonte did a great job of fighting off the draft there for quite a while, but they got you at the end. What happened?
Well, I went a little high down there in 3 and 4 trying to block them on the outside, and I picked up a little push. And I guess I should have put on some new tires, and I stayed out there on the old ones thinking I could hold them off, and I couldn't. But it was a good run for us. I'm happy for all the guys in Slim Jim Chevy. Did a good job. Car ran good all week, and we'll go on from here.
He'll be back to the Daytona 500 tomorrow, Mike.
What a fine run for Terry Labonte, but they jumped all over him in those last 2 laps. Matt Kenseth makes the whole state of Wisconsin proud as he wins here in Daytona. Nemechek, Terry Labonte, Winston Cuppers. Great run for the 2 rookies, Jay Sauter and Kevin Harvick, as we have a look back through the field in this Napa 300 today. The Gatorade 125's coming up shortly, and tomorrow the Daytona 500 for the 22nd consecutive year. You'll see it on CBS Sports, and we'll be proud to bring it to you. And if it's anything like today's race, wow.
You're right about that.
Kenseth takes the point lead to Rockingham next week. Jay Sauter and Kevin Harvick will run the complete Busch season. And let's show you the pass that put Matt Kenseth in victory lane.
He's in the light blue car down on the inside, and he gets a run. Labonte said he got a little bit high, and he did, and that gave the opening that Matt Kenseth needed, and Nemechek helped push him through.
That silver car got directly behind him there, actually pushed him down the front straightaway, and he was able to make the move in turns 1 down here to take the lead, thanks to Joe Nemechek, his drafting buddy.
Well, coming up, the Gatorade 125's run here Thursday at Daytona. You'll see that on CBS Sport after these messages and a word from your local CBS station.
Before you do this or this or this, you want to have this and this and this.
You'd be surprised how much of our technology goes into your day.
So for this or this or this.
We're Siemens.
We can do that.
Is this any way for an Academy Award nominee to arrive for a 60 Minutes interview? It is if the nominee is as far out of the mainstream as Kevin Spacey Sunday.
Matthew Modine and Kelly Williams star in Flowers for Algernon, CBS Sunday.
Do you remember this $3,000 bicycle? Recently at Warner Robins Ford Lincoln Mercury for one weekend, we offered $3,000 minimum trade-in on anything that rolls. Well, by popular demand, we're going to do it again this weekend through Monday. Incredible factory incentives, super inventory, and great deals right now. Plus, if it rolls, we'll give you $3,000 minimum trade-in right now through Monday. Warner Robins Ford Lincoln Mercury, we sell cars and trucks for less.
The Georgia National Rodeo, presented by Hamby Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep, is coming to the Agri Center in Perry. Riders risk it all in 6 wild and dangerous events. February 24th is 13 WMAZ Family Night at the Rodeo, with reduced ticket prices. February 25th, catch the performance of the semifinals sponsored by FM 105 WDEN. February 26th, enjoy the action-packed competition of the Rodeo Finals, brought to you by 13 WMAZ and FM 105. It's family entertainment at the Agri Center in Perry. The Georgia National Rodeo. Expect only the best.
I'm Pedro Tamayo, announcing the merger between Southern Housing Center and Bozeman Homes. We're now Bozeman Homes of Milledgeville, offering the same hometown service and dynasty homes like this.
A 5-bedroom, 3 full-bath, good sense home with fireplace, frost-free refrigerator, washer, dryer, microwave, delivered and set up on concrete footings for $49,995. Ask about our North Baldwin County land home opportunity at Clearview Ridge.
Southern Housing Center is now part of the Bozeman Home family.
2825C North Columbia, Milledgeville.
Oprah, weekdays at 4 on 13 WMAZ. Straight from the heart.
Speedweeks. Daytona. No time, no place, more exciting. No driver more dominant than Earnhardt, going for a record 11 consecutive wins in the 125. A win here raises Earnhardt 500 expectations. The defending Winston Cup champion Dale Jarrett, also no success on this track, sits on the pole for tomorrow's 500. Motivation, simple, a new streak by a new Dale. And Jeff Gordon stares into the future with memories of reliving his past. It's the Gatorade 125's. After a simply sensational NASCAR Busch Grand National 300-mile race, we're ready to look at the Gatorade 125's with the elite in the world of stock car racing, the Winston Cup competitors here at Daytona Beach, preparing for tomorrow's great American race, the 42nd annual Daytona 500. Let's go to the booth right now with Mike Joy, Ned Jarrett, and Buddy Baker. Thanks, Ken. For the fastest drivers at the front of the field, this is a 125-mile romp. But for those at the back, it's a last-gasp effort to make the Daytona 500. Now, Jarrett, it's easier to get a bill through Congress than to figure out all the different ways a driver can make the big dance. How about it?
It really is, Mike. It's confusing sometimes. Positions 1 and 2, I should say, were determined a week ago today. Dale Jarrett and Ricky Rudd had the fastest qualifying speeds. They'll start on the front row. Their positions were locked in. Positions 3 through 30 are determined in the Gatorade races. The top 14 finishers will move on to the Daytona 500. And then there are 6 positions that are reserved for drivers who had good time trials that had not already made their way into the field. And then the final 7 positions are provisionals from last year's point standings, 37 through 43. And we won't know where everyone fits until after both races are completed. Buddy Baker, what will the drivers learn from the Thursday races that'll translate to 500 miles Sunday?
I can tell you it is very important. It's the first time you really get to take your 500 car out there and see what it's like with a light fuel load, what it's like after the tires start to slide around on the racetrack, and then you get to go in after the race and make all kind of changes for the 500. It really tunes the car for the 500.
All right, we'll set the Daytona 500 field with the running of Thursday's Gatorade 125's coming up right after this.
CBS Sports presentation of the Gatorade 125 is sponsored by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, it's in NASCAR. Is it in you? Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you.
If you can't stop here, stop here for genuine Midas brakes. Now just $69.95 after rebate. Guaranteed nationwide for as long as you own your car. Next stop, go Midas.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue. So don't send the wrong signals. Get yourself some power.
They're not coming out. We're going in to get them. You're always hot. You're always sweating. It's a cat and mouse game.
We have some of the hottest detectives on the street to switch antiperspirant. Degree Ultra Dry.
Body heat activated.
Does this work? When your body heat rises, Degree's powerful Ultra Dry form releases extra protection when you need it most.
When the pressure is on, the heat is on, Degree kept up with me. He kept me dry. Degree kicks butt.
Degree Ultra Dry.
That stuff kicks in and takes care of business.
Your body heat turns it on.
Book 'em.
Three motorcycles passed here. 3 men, 2 women, all carrying Visa cards. How do you know that, grandfather? Because Central Law's Motorcycle Adventures doesn't take.
American Express.
Central Oz will take you to a place beyond your imagination, but they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
The Gatorade Company is pleased and honored to support NASCAR racing through our sponsorship of the Gatorade 125. For more than a quarter century, Gatorade has helped fuel NASCAR drivers at all levels of racing, and we are tremendously proud of our involvement in this exciting sport at a time of unmatched growth and popularity. Enjoy the races.
At the World Center of Speed, Daytona International Speedway, it's a beautiful, sun-drenched, summertime kind of day to set the field for the Daytona 500. The temperature this afternoon should hit 82 degrees. Humidity is moderate. There's just a hint of a breeze. 102 degrees on the asphalt and about 125 degrees in those race cars. Here's the starting lineup for the first Gatorade 125. Dale Jarrett, the 500 pole sitter, won this race in '97. Bill Elliott has won the qualifying race 3 times. In row 2, Mark Martin in his 17th try to win the 500, and Rusty Wallace, twice a runner-up in these qualifying races. IndyCar driver Scott Pruitt makes his Winston Cup debut today. In row 3, next to Ken Schrader, a 2-time winner of this race. From the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series comes Stacy Compton, a Winston Cup rookie, next to last year's Rookie of the Year, Tony Stewart. In the 1990s, Dale Earnhardt won this race every year. He goes for his 11th straight today, next to Johnny Benson, trying for his 4th 500 start. Wally Dallenbach hoping to make the big show for the 7th time, and Jeff Gordon, who won this race as a rookie in 1993. Also from the Truck Series, Mike Bliss, the open-wheeler driving for the great A.J. Foyt, and Bobby Labonte, who won his qualifying race 1 year ago. Then it's Sterling Marlin, twice a winner in this 50-lap dash, and Robbie Gordon looking for his 3rd 500 start and his first since '97. Jeremy Mayfield, a runner-up in this last year, and Darrell Waltrip, a 5-time winner. Terry Labonte holds the race record at 189.5 miles an hour. Jeff Bodine won one of these in 1990. Kenny Wallace looking for his 5th 500 start, and former modified champion Jeff Fuller, a rookie. Chad Little here for the 9th year, and Brett Bodine, all of the last 12 years he's made the 500. Rookie Bobby Gerhart from the ARCA Series, and Kyle Petty in his 19th try. Carl Long, a rookie driver, and Jim Sauter looking to start his 8th Daytona 500.
Manufacturer's breakdown today. In today's first race, there's 13 Fords, 8 Chevrolets, and 7 Pontiacs.
There are 28 cars in the race. Length of the race is 50 laps. That's 125 miles, and they're racing for a purse of $500,000. The record was set by Terry Labonte back in 1989 at over 189 miles an hour.
56 cars will compete today, split into 2 125-mile races. 43 will make the 500. The rest go home.
Looking at the track here at Daytona, it's 2.5 miles around. It's a tri-oval. The banking in the corner is 31 degrees, 18 degrees in the tri-oval on the front stretch.
From this race, the pole sitter Dale Jarrett and 14 others will make the show. Right now running in that 15th spot, Sterling Marlin in the number 40 Chevrolet. On the bubble, he is the last car in position to make it through this race. Other drivers would make it from time or from owner's provisional standings. Now there's Jeff Fuller in the number 27 Pontiac. Because he wrecked a car in practice when Greg Sachs cut down a tire and slid into him, Fuller, in a backup car, will have to start in the back. We'll be riding from the pole with Dale Jarrett, the defending Winston Cup champion, in the number 88 Ford. There's the pace car out ahead. And Jeff Gordon, who will start 12th today in his Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet number 24. And our Circuit City camera ride with Bobby Labonte, His Joe Gibbs Racing Pontiac starts 14th. Here we go to set the field for the Daytona 500. 50 laps, 125 miles, green flag.
Takes these cars a little while to get up speed with the restrictions NASCAR imposes on the cars at 50 speedways. They run a restrictor blade on the carburetor, which reduces the horsepower.
Ned, you can see the first four broke away a little bit as they double file back behind them. Then they're running nose to tail. They'll close right up. This lead won't last very long. As a matter of fact, they caught them as they head into turn 3.
Bill Elliott goes to the front. Dale Jarrett working for second down on the bottom next to Mark Martin. And Elliott leads lap 1. Rusty Wallace comes up the inside for third. Kenny Schrader's yellow Pontiac battle side by side for fourth.
And we were talking about them building the speed up. Now, they do have the speed up now because they are drafted very tight. As you see Mark Martin on the outside there in the number 6 car. Tony Stewart in the 20. That orange car on the outside has been very quick in practice all week long.
And here's a crew coming up on the inside. That Dale Earnhardt. There's the tied car of Scott Pruitt, who's one of the rookies this year.
A little hard to notice Earnhardt, not because he's number 3, he still is, but that car's red for Speedweeks here in Daytona. Don't have any trouble finding him when he gets to the front. 10 straight wins in this race.
And Kenny Schrader there in the yellow car. That's a new ride. You're familiar. Last year he drove the number 33 car. This year he's moved to the number 36 car. That's him right there.
Looks like that outside lane was the place to be to line up in the front draft. 5 cars are trying to break away.
Mike, when you're caught double foul like this right now, you may have a fast car, but there's nowhere to go. You have to wait until they start to sort out a little bit, and then all of a sudden you can make a move.
Ride with Bobby Labonte behind Scott Pruitt.
As they head into turn 3 here, you can hear they never lift off the throttle as they head down in the corner. It's a wide open affair here at Daytona.
Oh, he had to lift right there because Pruitt got a little loose. You heard Labonte come out of the throttle.
Just momentarily had to get out of to keep from hitting Pruitt.
Now they're 3 wide back here. That looks like Sterling Marlin down there. He made it 3 wide just for a second on straightaway, the number 40 car.
Right now on the bubble, Jeffrey Bodine, who's come from 20th up to that 15th position. Tight traffic, but Ned, that outside lane has been the place to get because that's where they're getting single file and getting away.
It has been the preferred line here in the early going. Normally the inside is the best place to be, and those that are running out front in that single car draft are running down on the bottom of the racetrack.
Ford telemetry with Kenny Schrader's yellow number 36, that M&M's car.
You notice the RPMs on the bottom part of that graphic right there. You don't see the 8,000 and 9,000 RPMs that you normally hear about. The reason for that, they run a restrictor plate here to cut down on the amount of fuel and air that goes through the engine itself to make the power. So you'll see lower RPMs because that's the maximum horsepower you can get out of a restrictor plate car.
An orange sticker on the back of Schrader's car said, "Keep back, new driver."
Yeah, they won't pay any attention to that today. These people are fighting to get in the greatest race of all time for Winston Cup racing.
Upper left of your screen, you see that green under the position for Terry Labonte. It means he's moved up a spot in the last lap. The red indicates Mike Bliss and Sterling Marlin have each lost a position since the last time by.
Boy, Bill Elliott has to just feel like the world has turned. He's got his race car running very well. He qualified great here, third fastest, and just all week long he's been on an emotional high here, and it's good to see Bill Elliott back at the top where he belongs.
There was a time when he ruled racing here at the Daytona International Speedway. But he had been down for a little while, but he's back now to the 5th and Dick Burton.
Ned Bill is a three-time winner of these 125-mile races, and you're absolutely right. This is an invigorated Bill Elliott, and why not? This is a brand-new race car. They brought other cars to Talladega, tested them. They were slower than anybody out there. So they came back home, cut everything up, started all over again with this car they call Mac Daddy. They've hired a new engine man, Tony Cola, who is widely viewed in the garage as one of the smartest engine men of all. And he and Ernie Ellen have put one wickedly powerful engine under the hood of Elliott's car. There are a lot of people who have worked very hard for this lead. That whole crew has worked 3 weeks in a row, 100 hours a week. Mike?
That is Elliott just out the windshield view of Dale Jarrett, the second-place car. The Gatorade 125s on CBS continue after this.
Chuck, it's Rennie. I'm stuck. Call me back.
Rennie, we're doing shadow puppets. Call me.
Chuck!
Rennie.
Call me back.
You just left me a message. I'm not going to touch my phone. Call me.
Tired of phone tag? Nextel's the only national wireless carrier with Direct Connect, a digital two-way radio feature. So, instead of reaching Chuck's voicemail, you can actually reach Chuck. Nextel, how business gets done.
You missed the spot.
Presenting The Day at the Gordons, where racing champion Jeff Gordon and his wife Brooke eat new Fritos Chili and Scoops, a hearty cup of chili and loads of Fritos corn chips. It's fast, it's filling, it's Fritos. Perfect for people on the go. New Fritos Chili and Scoops and Sloppy Joe and Scoops. Nothing goes faster.
You think you're harder on your engine than most people? Well, good. Because there's a new motor oil made to take it. Introducing new Pennzoil Synthetic with Penzane. Penzane was developed for the space program and is used by NASA. Don't change your driving, just change your oil. Pennzoil Synthetic. It's rocket science for your car.
Save in every department today at Circuit City. Right now, all TVs 27 inches and larger, VCRs and camcorders are on sale. All DVD players, home and car audio, and more are on sale too. And you'll pay no interest for 6 months on all TVs, camcorders, DVD players, home and car audio, and more. $2.99 and up. Save on the best top brands in every department today at Circuit City.
Welcome back to Speed Week in Daytona. Mike Joy alongside Buddy Baker and Ned Jarrett. Flying high above Daytona, providing aerial pictures of the Gatorade 125 is the Bud One airship. Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. Earnhardt and Schrader are giving each other fits. Neither one can clear the other. Now Earnhardt pulls up the line.
That's what they needed to do, is to get in single file if they have any chance of pulling up on that group of 6 cars in front of them, because they opened that gap even further on the last lap.
The 5-car breakaway, left side of your screen, Bill Elliott, Dale Jarrett, Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, Tony Stewart, Johnny Benson. It's now a 6-car breakaway. Johnny Benson got clear of this group.
But now that Earnhardt and Schrader have singled out and Jeff Gordon back there, I believe they're picking up a little bit just in a half a lap, beginning to pick up on that front line.
Well, they should be able to, because that front group is actually breaking the air apart and creating a turbulence behind them that these guys just behind them will be able to utilize the draft as they're trying to catch them. So they should run quite a bit faster than the guys up front right now and close in on them.
Look who got caught way in the back waiting for yesterday's train. Bobby Labonte, that green car, as Earnhardt and Schrader broke away with Jeff Gordon. Bobby Labonte was left to scrap back there in what is now the 3rd pack of cars.
But now he gets down in single file, Michael. That's going to help him catch back up to Earnhardt and Schrader and Gordon.
The one thing about Dale Earnhardt, you can bet that he's got both feet flat on the floor right now, and they are catching this front group. They've closed in about 10 car lengths on the last lap. You just behind them, Earnhardt in this front, they're actually running about a mile an hour faster right now than the lead car.
4 Fords and 2 Pontiacs lead this train. Let's go back to the bubble position. Jeremy Mayfield, number 12, right there, is in that 15th position.
and they are doing a lot of scrambling and passing for position. The lap ago, Sterling Marlin was in 13th place. Now he's down to 16th place. They are going at it back and forth.
Mayfield, who finished second in this race last year, is now struggling to gain a perch for the Daytona 500. Jeffrey Bodine just ahead of him, 14th and 15th spot. Now Mayfield, if he doesn't race his way into one of the top 15 row positions, is secured a spot in the 500, either through his time trial speed or his car owner provisional points. He'll be in the race Sunday. But the better you finish in this 125-mile qualifier, the further to the front you start in the 500.
Ed, you can see groups of cars now, some that are not handling well. Some of them are having to go high on the bank right now, and it's because the cars are beginning to lose grip in the front tires, and they're starting to run higher and higher. That front bunch looks like they're holding their own now.
You know, in race competition here, they have not run more than about 15 laps at one time. In competition, they've done it more in practice, as we see Kyle Petty there trying to make a move.
He's racing in 20th place, Ned. Started 26th as he pulls up on Darrell Waltrip, a 5-time winner of the 125-miler. And a couple of cars in this bunch just got together. Now, number 13, Robbie Gordon, not his first skirmish of the week, as Scott Pruitt gets up there with Terry Labonte. Gordon got into a shove on the backstretch with Tony Stewart yesterday that led to shoving in the garage area. Let's show you moments ago what happened in that pack.
Okay, Jeff Gordon's in the silver car right there. As he comes off the corner, Scott Pruitt just under him there, but just behind me back there, you can see Scott Pruitt in the Tide car got into Labonte just a little bit as they headed off the corner there.
Terry Labonte is also assured a spot in the 500. Scott Pruitt's got to race his way in.
Terry Labonte would have several options, really, or opportunities, I should say. They're not always options, but he being a former champion, that would be one of the opportunities that would get him in here. And, of course, finishing high in the points last year, like the 11th or 12th, somewhere along there.
Something looked like it happened to Bobby Labonte just a second ago. He was right up there in that front group, and he just started getting slower and slower coming off the corner. Several cars have passed him in the last couple of laps. Number 18 car.
He's been a surprise. I thought that he would be the car speed here during the Speedweeks at Daytona. In qualifying, he didn't show it. I thought maybe a lot of people thought that he was holding back, maybe sandbagging a little bit, but now is the time to go to show whatever you have. And as you say, he's not getting the job done. He's hanging in there, but not the way we expected him to.
Right now, he's got clean air in front of him, and not much help right behind his older brother Terry, the Winston Cup champ, right behind him as they try to gain on the front two packs.
You know, it looks like he might have just backed up to his brother there to give him a little toe up through there, because the two of them do work very well together. The 18, the green car there, and the 5 of Terry Labonte, they work very well together, and they will help each other.
You're looking back from Bobby Labonte's car at older brother Terry and Scott Pruitt and Robbie Gordon, the two former IndyCar stars that have moved over to NASCAR this season, behind that yellow Chevrolet of Terry Labonte.
It looks like Terry Labonte is 100 yards or so behind Bobby Labonte, but that's not the case. He's about 2 car lengths behind. And Buddy, since we mentioned a moment ago that second pack was gaining on the front pack, they haven't picked up a lot, but now they maybe appear to be coming back a little bit.
And the one thing I've noticed is they've changed the line around the racetrack. The preferred line has been all week long, right around the bottom part of the racetrack. This group is running much higher in the corner, trying to get the maximum air they can get off that front group.
CBS Sports coverage of the Gatorade 125 will continue after these messages and a word from your local station.
Chuck Norris, 2 martial arts masters, compare battle scars.
Shanghai Triad, 1996.
Dallas Gang, 1997.
Richland Cups, 1998.
Paper cut, yesterday.
Whoa, you win.
Chuck Norris,
and Sammo Hung together for the first time. A 2-hour special presentation, CBS tonight.
Yeah, it really hurt.
Catch Grammys 2000 live, CBS Wednesday. Don't miss it.
Don't just see the world. Explore it. Break out during Riverside Ford Spring Sales event. Head for the hills or the beach in an SUV that's custom-made for adventure. The rugged new Ford Explorer, with plenty of room for the guys, the girls, and their gear. The Ford Explorer looks just as good on the highway as it does on the range. You can even register to win an outfitter's dream vacation at www.riverside-ford.com. Riverside Ford, Riverside at Ingleside in Macon. Our world revolves around you.
Think big, because when you're in the market for a recreational vehicle, bigger is better. In the past 10 years, Midstate RV Center has grown to become the world's largest Coachman dealer. Shop the Southeast's largest selection, including powerful diesel pushers, or test drive a certified pre-owned motorhome from Midstate's $1 million inventory. As a volume leader, Midstate offers the most competitive prices and the highest level of customer satisfaction. Midstate RV Center, exit 46 off I-75 in Byron, Georgia.
Weatherline, sponsored by Riverside Ford and 13 WMAZ.
Nissan Open from the Riviera Country Club in Pacific Palisades, California. Bill Elliott has sprinted away from the field, taking Dale Jarrett and Rusty Wallace with him. Look at the gap that's opened up to the fourth-place car of Mark Martin. Buddy, what's happened to Martin and the rest of these challengers that they've fallen so far back?
It's very simple. They were racing side by side, and they've been having a battle all the time. And that front group up there, they have not abused their tires because they have been nose to tail since the green flag.
I don't think Mark's car is handling it exactly the way that he wants to, and was not able to stay in that trap. It did for a long, long time. But once we got to that halfway point, and those tires just keep getting hotter and hotter, so that handling comes into play.
And the other thing, if you'll notice just there, you see Mark Martin in the 6th car right here. He's doing everything he can, but he's not getting a lot of help because nobody's handling real good. You see how high he's running on the racetrack? And behind him, they're just torting around, trying to make the cars work, where these guys are following each other. Everybody's taking a different line through the racetrack because of the handling problems they're having.
And I think you've hit it, buddy, right there. These 3 cars in the front, Elliott, Jarrett, and Rusty Wallace have been able to run right around the bottom of the racetrack. The rest of the cars seem to be climbing the hill. Dick Berggren?
Well, Mark Martin's problem seems to be that he has developed a push in that race car. Behind him, the 20 Tony Stewart says he is just working as hard as he possibly can, but the car is all over the racetrack. That's the problem. These guys just can't keep up with the front 3. They are too strong. Mike?
There's a look at Mark Martin. Never won this race, never won the 500. 4th place right now. Working around the damaged car of Brett Bodine, down on horsepower. Line number 11.
Well, you see this bunch coming there. I was just watching Earnhardt. He crossed up in the center part of the corner just a second ago. He run up on that lap car there, and he had to find somewhere to go. And luckily, he had some friends up there that let him back in line.
Remember, the man in black is driving the red car this Daytona. A brand new 2000 model Monte Carlo.
There's somebody pulling. You think the pit guys just sit there and just don't do anything? You see he had both fingers crossed here, pulling for his driver.
There's Earnhardt with Jeff Gordon. There's the gap back to that second pass. Behind them, Schrader and Bobby Labonte gets a little bit of drafting help down on the bottom of the racetrack. They go too wide again.
And therein lies the problem. They're not able to stay together. Everybody's trying to find somewhere on the racetrack their car will handle right. You see there's a little bit of contact between Bobby Labonte and Schrader there. They just touched enough to say, I'm still down here.
To go. Jeremy Mayfield still the bubble car. Number 12. Here's Mayfield, right side of the screen, trying to race his way into the 500. Now Chad Little is 1.3 seconds behind Mayfield.
Well, that's a pretty good cushion that Mayfield has at the moment. Of course, he likes that, and Chad Little, unfortunately, is out of the draft.
Let's check with Ralph.
Car of Johnny Benson has gotten really, really tight. That is the word over the radio for Johnny. He's one of the best chassis men in the business when it comes to driver knowledge of chassis. So if Johnny tells you it's really, really tight, it must be pretty bad.
Ralph, you're exactly right. It is so aggravating to turn the car left to get in the corner, and it tries to go to the outside wall. Although you have it turned left, it loses so much grip that it wonks its way up the racetrack towards the outside wall.
Bobby Labonte there with Schrader and Scott Pruitt. That is from 8th on back. There they are in the middle of that long second draft.
This front group, they're running nose to tail, and they're not having any problems. When they come up, of course, Flagman's working for them. Couldn't be in a better place than those first three right now because there's no racing going on between them.
Well, Dale Jarrett's doing a little bit of plague, buddy. The last two times, he's either pushing up, coming off the turn 4 and slowing down, or either backing off to try to get a run and see where Winston might be able to make the pass on Bill Elliott. He dropped back pretty good the last time. He dropped back this time, and he lost some that time when he dropped back, so Bill was able to pull away a little bit. So I think that he might be playing with him. I mentioned a moment ago that Rusty was having problems hanging on, but he seems to be pretty comfortable there now.
Well, and he caught the leader back. There's Earnhardt going down into turn 3, working very, very hard.
Bill Stevens.
Mike, I'm with Kevin Hamlin, the crew chief for Dale Earnhardt. You started at 9, picked up a few spots, but you say that the car still isn't working perfectly.
Yeah, Dale Earnhardt's driving the wheels off this GM Goodwin Service Plus Big Red Pass car right now, but this new spring and shock package has got our handle and package just a little bit messed up, and we're still kind of working with that, trying to figure out what we got to have for this new car, new spring and shock deal.
Can he move up anymore?
Well, if he could get some help from behind, then he possibly could get another spot or two, but it'll be tough to catch his other cars way up in the front.
Mike's time is running out on that 11th straight victory here in the Twins.
Thanks, Bill. Those are the two Chevrolets, Earnhardt and Gordon. Look how high they are up in the corners, though, compared to the 3 lead Fords glued right down to the bottom of the racetrack in the turns. Bill Elliott trying to put paid to that streak. Asked his crew chief, Kevin Cram, yesterday, how good of a car do you have here at Daytona? He thought about a millisecond and said, real good. We'll have more of the Gatorade 125s after this word.
Now's the time to break out with the perfect way to get away in a brand new Ford. Break out with the 2000 Ford Explorer and get 3.9% financing or $1,000 cash back. Explorer was built for any kind of adventure. So get up, get out, get moving. Get to your local Ford store today, your Ford outfitter.
The dog is supposed to cry. So let's do one more. Are you finished? Rex, you're supposed to cry. Think back to your worst day. That's your motivation. Motivation.
Cut it! Quit that! I smell seafood! Thank you!
Rex, about your next movie. Call me!
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by Budweiser, the official beer of NASCAR. Hey, race fans, this Bud's for you.
40 of 50 laps complete. We are caution-free. Dale Jarrett started on pole. Bill Elliott snatched the lead and has held it all the way so far. 10 straight years Earnhardt has won this race. Right now, there are 8 cars in front of him trying to deny him that 11th consecutive 125-mile victory. A group of 3, a gap of a little more than 3 seconds, a group of 3, a pair of 2, and again Scott Pruitt's car runs loose and almost right out to the turn 4 wall, and then that snarling pack of 7.
I got to tell you something. We're overlooking a guy that is making a huge run up through the pack, and that is none other than Jeff Gordon. He was running with Earnhardt there just a second ago. He just shook him away and went right up to the next group, and he's going through them now.
He has found a group that his Chevrolet will work a lot better. You're right, buddy. He's made a good move.
Here are your leaders. Let's drop back to 10th spot and watch our ranchhead.com telemetry. On board number 13, Robbie Gordon. Battled Jeremy Mayfield. 12th place there. And Chad Little right on the bottom of the racetrack. And to the pits comes Carl Long. Trying to make his first Daytona 500 and having to make a tire change with 8 laps to go.
Yeah, that's not good. I'd say his chances are about like mine making the race right now. He's got to do what he has to do to try. You never know what will happen in the race.
Well, this battle is hot and heavy back in the pack. They've been going at it since the green flag dropped.
Oh, Gordon just squeezes in there.
That's Robbie Gordon, folks, in the 13 there in the middle of that bunch there. He just moved up and made a hole there. Johnny Benson had one choice, back off or crash.
And Johnny's a good, smart race driver, so he made the obvious choice, and that was to back off.
This is Robbie Gordon's second run at Winston Cup racing. It's said that he walks to the beat of his own drum, and it looks like he runs to his own lane, wherever that may be as well sometimes here. A very, very aggressive driver.
That's Jeff Gordon. He's already moved up to 6th spot now. He's right behind the lead. But this lead bunch right now, though, have it pretty much their way. If they keep running this way until about 2 or 3 laps to go, I don't think anybody has a chance of catching our front bunch. But back in there, that's a war.
Earnhardt, we saw in 9th, and let's go back to the bubble. Right now, Chad Little, number 97, driving for Jack Roush in a Ford, is in 15th position. So that would put him in the 15th row of the Daytona 500.
And he's in good position, Mike. The 16th place car is perhaps 3 seconds behind him now. Wally Dallenbach has lost that draft, and I don't think he has any chance of catching up.
Chase Elliott looking on as his dad tries to run to victory here in the Gatorade 125.
Well, there'll be 5 laps to go when they return this time. And we'll see if DJ has anything left for Bill Elliott. I think it's going to be difficult for him to pass him, even if he has something left, because he doesn't have much help from Rusty. Rusty now does seem to be struggling just to keep up. He's back about 4 or 5 car lengths, and that doesn't help DJ.
Ned, I'm gonna wait a couple of laps before I agree with you on that, because I watched that 2 car close up right now and running back down the straightaway. He may be cooling his tires right now, waiting for that last run.
Could be. And he could be sizing the situation up. You drop back a little bit further that last lap, as you say, he's pull right back up there again. So, who knows?
Bill Elliott won this race in 1985 and 86 for Harry Mellon. And in 1992 for Junior Johnson. Looking for his 4th victory, which would put him in the 2nd row for the Daytona 500.
Well, it's been a long time since Bill Elliott. I've said it one time before, but he has really got a great car.
The camera on the Bud Blimp shows it best. Look at the gap from these first 3 cars back to the pass.
First group is right there, and right back here is your other group. So I'm telling you, they got a long ways to go to make any kind of race out of this. But this is going to turn into a war with about 2 to 3 laps to go. As we go forward now, it won't be long before we'll find out who has the muscle.
One thing, though, buddy, they have to keep their eye on the big prize. If you damage one of these cars beyond repair, you'd have to start at the tail end of the Daytona 500.
Yeah, that's why you would have probably made a better driver than me if you'd have took it up, because I always tried to win every race I went into. Didn't get it done, but I tried.
You saw Chad Little, that green 97, in 15th place. There is the 16th place car way back of Chad Little. That's Wally Dallenbach. His speed may get him into the Daytona 500, but his position on the racetrack in this one will not. 3 laps to go.
This is about the time you start looking in the mirror and you say, okay, I'm fast on the bottom. Do I give that bottom up? Maybe act like I can run high and maybe take a chance. Right now, Dale Jarrett is trying things that you don't even know he's trying. He's trying far down the straightaways. He's trying high and low, and he's looking him over right now.
He really gets a good run coming off of turn 2, and that might be the key. That would be the place that he needs to get the run and try to get up beside him going into turn 3, but Rusty Wallace is right back there with him, too. I think DJ's backing off a little bit again, coming off of that turn, hoping that Rusty can help to push him up there and build some momentum.
Now, last Sunday in the Bud Shootout, leader Sterling Marlowe was a sitting duck when the cars behind him decided to go. Is Bill Elliott the fleet of the fleet, or is he a sitting duck in this situation?
Well, I don't know, because he has lap traffic in front of him up there. That could change the complexion of everything. If he gets a good draft off the cars they're running up on, you never know what might happen.
And look at this gap. It's become 3, 4 car lengths. Is Jarrett too far back to make a move?
No. I can tell you that. I think Bill's beginning to worry about it. He's going back and forth down the back straightaway. They're trying to break the draft, trying to keep those cars from using that air coming off that lead car. So he'll be doing a lot of that, but he's got an awful fast car sitting just behind him there.
You're right, buddy. They're coming up on those lap cars. Whether they'll come into play or not, the white flag is out.
1 lap to go.
We don't have to guess that very much longer. I'll guarantee you when they hit the back straightaway, you'll know strategy.
One of these 3 Fords can win this Gatorade 125. Rusty Wallace has never won one. He's in 3rd place.
I don't think that.
I don't see him catching him right now. Bill starts to move around. He comes down the racetrack. Now he'll go back out against the wall, and all you can do is follow him when he does that, because he's not putting a straight line of air down that back straightaway.
Now, last lap, Jarrett caught him in turn 4 and might have had a chance to make a run. Can he do it this time?
I don't think so. I think that front position is the place to be, and Bill Elliott's going to win it.
Checkered flag is up for the 4th time. Bill Elliott wins the Gatorade 125 at Daytona. Jarrett is 2nd. Wallace is 3rd. Tony Stewart, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, and Scott Pruitt, along with Robbie Gordon, race their way into the field. And Dale Earnhardt, trying for his 11th straight 125-mile victory, finishes 11th. The race went caution-free, and Elliott's winning speed, 188.758 miles per hour, is the 2nd fastest 125 in history. We'll talk to Bill Elliott after this.
The hells we have lived through and live through still have sharpened our senses and toughened our will. The night has been long. This morning, I looked through your anguish right down to your soul. I know that together we can be made whole. And still we rise.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Amazing, that car never ages.
To help keep your car young, protect your engine with Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. Buy a case of Haviland Formula 3 and get this collectible die-cast car for $4.99. Hurry, they're going fast. Head to the mountains of Busch Beer. Proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
Shift into gear with in-depth NASCAR coverage, including driver profiles presented by Fritos. Just click on racing at cbs.sportsline.com. For AOL users, enter keyword CBS Sportsline. 4 Fords finish in the top 5. Elliott, Jarrett, Wallace, Stewart's Pontiac, and Mark Martin. Jeff Gordon, Bobby Labonte, Scott Pruitt have all raced their way into the Daytona 500 along with Robbie Gordon, Mayfield, Earnhardt 11th, and Schrader, Terry Labonte, Benson, and Chad Little. Now, from Dollenbach on back, these drivers will have to depend on their time trial speed or their car owner's points from last year or status as a past Winston Cup champion. But we won't know who makes the big dance until after race 2. Bill Elliott rolls into Daytona's victory lane and to Ken Squire.
Well, 3 times in the 80s, he won from the front row in these 125 milers, and he's done it again today. Hey, it looks like the old Bill Elliott.
I'll tell you what, it feels great. I mean, this McDonald's crew, they worked all winter long trying to get this Taurus up front. And I got my hats off to these guys. I mean, they have worked all winter long putting their act together, and this is what it shows. This is what it's all about.
Are you ready to win your third 500?
Well, we hope so. We're going to give it our best shot, guys.
Congratulations, Bill. Now let's go to Dick Berggren.
Good run, DJ, but were you holding anything back?
No. We came here to win everything and came up a little short right there. Bill had a good car. He beat me off the go. Good job, Ed.
That was Rusty Wallace that just congratulated Dale Jarrett.
Yeah, and it was a good, safe race, and got 25 or 50 laps under our belt here to know what we need to do. And Bill Ellis got a great race car and just couldn't mount anything. You know, you can't make a pass just by yourself. It doesn't matter how good a car you have. And, you know, Rusty's car, I think, was running a little warm, and he couldn't get up there and push me like I needed.
Good run.
We'll be right back with the second Gatorade 125 at Daytona after this word.
Feeling a little cooped up lately? Then break out of your rut and get behind the wheel of a new Ford. Grab hold of a new Ford Focus with low 4.9% financing. When you, your friends, and your Focus get together, anything can happen. So what are you waiting for? Get to your local Ford store today.
You drive the way you drive. That's just the way it is. And that's fine. Because there's a new motor oil made to take it. Introducing new Pennzoil Synthetic with Penzane. Penzane was developed for the space program and is used by NASA. Don't change your driving. Just change your oil. Pennzoil Synthetic. It's rocket science for your car.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway as we set the field for the Daytona 500. Here's the starting lineup for the second Gatorade 125. Ricky Rudd makes his 24th start. He's never won one of these qualifiers, while Mike Skinner was runner-up in this race in '97. In row 2, Ward Burton making his 6th 500, and John Andretti third in this race in '96. Sprint car veteran and Busch Series graduate Dave Blaney looking to start his first 500. Robert Presley has 3 top 10s in this race. Jeff Burton is going for his 7th 500. He was third in the qualifier last year, while Kenny Irwin, third-year driver, he's got a new ride this year. In row 5, Joe Nemechek tries to make his 6th 500. Rick Mast finished 4th in this race in '91. Dale Earnhardt Jr., the Busch Series champion, but a Daytona 500 rookie, while Michael Waltrip was 2nd in this race 2 years ago. Steve Park hopes to qualify for his 3rd 500. Rookie Matt Kenseth, runner-up in last year's Busch Series. Jimmy Spencer has 3 top 5s in this race, and Jerry Nadeau embarks on his first race for Hendrick Motorsports. Bobby Hamilton has 3 top 10s in this qualifier, and the only Daytona 500 winner in this race, Derek Cope. Ed Barrier, one of 8 rookie candidates this year, driving for Junie Dunleavy, and Kevin LePage, who's qualified in his 2 previous appearances. Ricky Craven trying to make his 6th 500. Dave Marcus holds the record, 32 straight Daytona 500s. Elliott Sadler embarks on the Wood Brothers' 50th anniversary season, and Greg Sachs twice the 4th place finisher. Stanton Barrett, a Daytona 500 rookie, and Andy Hillenberg, who was 8th in this race 2 years ago. Daytona Beach native Dan Pardis hopes to qualify for his first 500, as does ARCA veteran Norm Benning.
In today's race, second 125, there'll be 15 Chevrolets, 10 Fords, and 3 Pontiacs.
28 cars starting this race. They'll go for 50 laps, 125 miles. The purse, $500,000.
We're going to ride along with both sides of the front row. There's Ricky Rudd in his Robert Yates Racing Ford. Pontiac safety car just ahead. And Mike Skinner in the Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet. Starting from the outside pole, and our nation's rent cam is on board Michael Waltrip. In the number 7 Chevrolet, he will start outside the 6th row. Half the field is set for the Daytona 500, and the outside of rows 2 through 15 will be decided from the first 14 finishing positions here, plus the position of Ricky Rudd. And right now, Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer, and that Travis Carter number 26 Ford is on the bubble. He is the final car that would transfer to the Daytona 500 from the racing positions they are in right now as we get set to go to green. Dick Berggren.
Conversation between the drivers on the inside of the front of this field. They have a deal cut. Ricky Rudd's going to throw his hand up just at the point in time where he's going to bury the gas pedal. That tells Ward Burton, come with me. Burton's going to throw his hand up in the air. That'll tell his teammate right behind him, let's all hook up. Should be a three-way fight to move to the front. Mike?
Burton's teammate, number 93, rookie Dave Blaney. Well, in race 1, the outside lane was the place to be in the start. Here in race 2, watch for those front 3 cars on the inside row to link up. Pace car is in. We're set to finish setting the field for the Daytona 500. The second Gatorade 125 is underway.
I tell you, Ward Burton did his part because he stayed right on the back bumper of Ricky Rudd on the start of the race.
And here's Rudd clearing Mike Skinner, the outside pole sitter. Skinner drops in.
Oh, he's got a try.
Yeah, he got in there. Now they're nose to tail. Rudd's leading, and just behind him you see Mike Skinner in the 31 car closing in.
So now Burton's Pontiac, number 22, yellow and black, locked on the back of that blue and yellow Chevy of Skinner.
John Andretti in that blue car there, side by side with Ward Burton as they head off down off turn 4.
Took minutes to prepare and about 800 feet to come undone.
Yeah, there's no plans. I tell you, you hear all about this, we'll do this and we'll do that. Now they just love to catch him again. But I tell you one thing I am noticing right now, the 28 car Ricky Rudd is proving that he is one of the strongest cars here in Daytona.
Side by side, 3 wide in the back.
They really fan out as they came off the turn 2 and headed down the back stretch, trying to gain some momentum. But they get down, all except one little group, all get down to at least 2 wide.
Look at John Andretti come around the outside of Mike Skinner. Power move.
Yeah, and Robert Presley in the 77 car just behind him there. They got a draft going, and John Andretti showed a lot of power on the high side. And if you remember, when Richard Petty used to drive at 43, that was his groove, right up against the wall.
Here's the fella in trouble right there. Dave Blaney, 93, stuck in the middle. And they're going to sweep around both sides of it.
That's not a good place to be. You don't have a drafting partner in there. You got the car on each side of it. You can't afford to make much of a move, or you'll be into somebody as he almost got to.
Right alongside him, number 8, Dale Earnhardt Jr., another rookie.
John Andretti, you'd say he's in trouble on the high side there, but watch him as he starts off the corner. The blue car on the top there, he and Robert Presley must have talked in the driver's meeting, and they worked him pretty well for him.
Only one Daytona 500 winner in this race, Derek Colt. Only one Gatorade 125 winner in this race, Dave Marcus. Now there's Blaney still stuck in the middle.
Mike, and he almost made contact there with the car on the outside of Derek Colt, the 15. They almost touched, and I'm sure Steve Park in the number 1 there had to just draw up because Blaney was all the way sideways.
Yeah, his car is very, very loose in the center there. He needs to try. Well, he thought he had a spot there, and he needs to try to get back in one of those lines, but he's not able to do it.
I think he and Park did touch. You may see a little bit of that paint on the left rear corner of Steve Park's car. Now that's happening mid-pack. The front 5 are broken away single file before that double wide group.
Blaney finally gets in line on the outside lane.
Five-car single file. They are leaving the rest of the field to abreast.
Oh,
3 wide in the backstretch again behind that front pack.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that 8 car there, battling like everything right now on the bottom side there. Got a lot of competition on the high side. That's Kenny Irwin, and the ones that don't know, he just went into that 42 car, the green car there. They're battling side by side down the front straightaway here.
Steve Park, number 1 on the bubble in that 15th and what is now the final qualifying spot. Here's Park's number 1 underneath Derek Cope. Driving for a long-time Daytona car owner Bud Moore of Spartanburg. Having to race their way in.
Yow. Every time I see them get 3 wide, I've been here so many times that I realize 3 wide, it looks good. And it's very exciting, but it's not a very pleasant thing for the guy in the middle.
We'll be right back to Daytona after this.
The ability to have hands-on brewmasters working with the finest ingredients.
In the barley fields and in the hop fields, everyone has a genuine passion and commitment to upholding the highest standards.
Quality, freshness, attention to detail. Blend those things and you have what Budweiser is all about.
Rock and roll! We love you! Rock and roll! We love you! Rock and roll! We love you!
To keep your car rocking, protect your engine with Havoline Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car. Buy a case of Havoline Formula 3 and get this collectible die-cast car for $4.99. Hurry, they're going fast.
Don't let racing at the Rock pass you by. NASCAR returns to North Carolina Speedway in Rockingham, February 26th and 27th. The 2000 season is closer than you think. Call now for tickets.
The hells we have lived through and live through still have sharpened our senses and toughened our will. The night has been long. This morning, I looked through your anguish right down to your soul. I know that together we can be made whole, and still we rise.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway and the Gatorade 125. With a bird's eye perspective, today's Gatorade 125s were brought to you by the Bud One Airship and Budweiser, official beer of NASCAR. How about Ricky Rudd, his 24th Daytona 500. He has never won. He's third in a qualifying race in '81, but looking for victory lane for the first time.
And no fear whatsoever. He was involved in a turnover here in the Bud Shootout earlier in the week. Now he's out there leading the race. But that tells you he has a lot of confidence in himself and his car because that did not affect him.
Dick Berggren?
Year-old Dave Marcus is having the race of his life, Mike. He is having trouble with his engine. It's overheating. He is trying desperately to make it 33 Daytona 500s in a row. It is not going well. His car is all the way to the back of the pack. Let's go to Ralph Shaheen.
Problems potentially for the number 42 of Kenny Irwin. The water temperature of that machine is starting to climb. And sometimes, gentlemen, just from running in a tight pack like this could affect that. They also might have added some tape to the front of that car to try to change how that car handled based on what they saw from the previous race.
Here's a look at Irwin, number 42. He left the Robert Yates team at the end of last season. Was picked up for this 42 car by Felix Sabates. Joe Nemechek vacated this team to go drive for the 33 team.
Yeah, and he has a lot of talent. He started in the back of the field in the 500 last year and drove all the way to third.
Here's our nation's Ren onboard cam, Michael Waltrip, running in 9th place, just behind Kenny Irwin. Our Fritos telemetry with Waltrip 6,900 RPM.
Wow, almost 7,000 right there. About 190 miles an hour going off into turn one. See a little bump right there, a little sparks out of the car in front of him, a vermin. But I'll tell you one thing, you'll never hear that motor change. Michael Walter drives it as hard as it'll go every lap.
Now, it only bled off about 300 RPM through turns 1 and 2.
If you lose many more RPMs than that, your car is definitely not handling. That's even back when I was racing back in the mid-60s. That was the target to try to set that you would not lose more than 300 RPMs in the turn.
Well, that lead draft has been paired somewhat. It's in danger of being down to 11 cars. Gary Cope there falling back just a bit, and that black number 15, Bud Moore.
Yeah, he's in 11th position. Jerry Nadeau has fallen back as well. He was in that top 12.
Did I mention there's only one guy in this whole race that's ever won a 125? In the second race, there has never been anybody but Dave Marcus that's ever won the 125 qualifying races.
Did it in 1976 for Nord Proskopf of the K&K Dodge.
There's a pretty good chance that there will be a first-time winner then here today with Dave having problems.
Bill Stevens?
Mike, we talked about some of the better cars not having a good race right now, and you can add another one to that list. Dave Blaney, who started 5th in the number 93. Gil Martin, the crew chief, said they lost an awful lot of valuable practice time yesterday when they hit the wall in weather conditions that are very similar to the ones we have now. They didn't get the data that they really wanted. That's why that car's off the pace.
Thanks, Bill. This may become a 5-car breakaway, as back at the 6th place car, Robert Presley, running a much higher line through turns 1 and 2 than the rest of that pack. But in the straightaway, you see they all get gathered back up again.
Yeah, that gives him a good run. His car is free coming off of that second turn. He gets a good run down the backstretch and closes right back in.
Well, it's been a so-so day for owner-drivers. Bill Elliott drove his own car to victory lane in the first race. Brett Bodine had engine trouble, and now Dave Marcus is in danger of missing the 500.
Yeah, but one car that is doing a great job right now is Derek Cope. He started very far back, and that's him right at the back of the line right there. He's moved himself up there with the front group and stands a good chance of making the 500. And everybody remembers him passing Earnhardt in turn 3 to win the 500 not many years ago.
1990, driving for Bob Whitcomb of New Hampshire. The car wrenched by Buddy Parrott. That lead draft, 11 cars long, and from front to back, the width of your screen is 1.7 seconds on the racetrack from 1st to 11th. We'll have more of the Gatorade 125s from Daytona after these messages and a word from your local CBS station.
The garage is on the wrong side.
We got a problem on 36.
Mike, get over here. Greg, get down. Jim, I need that cement truck.
Only the Nextel Business Network connects local companies with our digital two-way radio feature, so you can reach who you need faster.
It's perfect.
Now it's perfect.
Greg, we have a problem.
Nextel, how business gets done.
If you don't want to be here until the tide takes you out, keep the ball well up on your stance and your shoulders parallel to the slope.
The real story of John Benet Ramsey, Perfect Murder, Perfect Town, CBS, February 27th.
Forget the Y2K bucks. You've got new car fever. And Hamby Chrysler Plymouth Dodge can make you feel better. Feel your pulse race when you ride out on a rugged Ram Club Cab for as little as $299 a month. Or maybe you need a change of climate. Get a breath of fresh air in the new Dodge Durango for as low as $339 a month. For a sure cure, take one Jeep Cherokee now for as low as $239 a month and call us in the morning. Hamby Chrysler Plymouth Dodge Jeep, exit 42 off I-75 in Perry. Feed your fever.
At Hamby Chevrolet, we want to make sure that every customer goes home happy.
And what makes our customers genuinely happy is getting a great deal on a quality vehicle from a genuine GM leader.
So if you want to be treated with respect and get the car of your dreams,
We can make you happy. Hamby Chevrolet Pontiac Buick GMC, exit 42 off I-75 in Cary. You should be this happy.
Caution-free thus far in both 125-mile qualifying races. The last time that both races went without a yellow flag was back when they were just 100-mile races in 1964.
They extended them to 125-mile races where they would have to make pit stops. Well, that has changed now with the restrictor plates. They don't burn so much fuel, and now they can go 125 miles without having to stop for fuel.
If a yellow flag should occur, wondering how many of the teams would come in and take tires from the sprint run to the finish. That's a key part of the strategy here.
Certainly, we'd have to expect those that are running back in the pack to do that. Let's go to the pits and Dick Burton.
Well, Jeff Burton lost several positions a couple of laps back. He is suffering from a car that is pushing like so many other people, and he just lost those spots. He's doing his best to hang on. To Bill Stevens.
Yeah, you're right, Dick. Pushing seems to be the endemic problem today. The number 8 of Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been doing that. And earlier we mentioned how he doesn't like to run up high. Well, a couple of laps ago, he tried it and didn't like it. And now he'll really try to stick to the low part of the racetrack.
Not handling, that's what you have to do. You just have to search around on the racetrack for a place that it feels more comfortable and not put more pressure on any one tire than you absolutely have to.
How do you feel when a tire is going away, buddy?
Well, it's almost like you hit water or oil in the corner. You turn the wheel fast and it wants to go right. And there's no such thing as just keeping the power on and making it turn. Once it starts to push, you have to ease out the throttle. And when you do that, the restrictor plates, it really takes the power away from the car.
Watching Ricky Rudd run up in front, Waddell Wilson, who was his crew chief years ago, and Waddell now with A.J. Foyt and that Mike List team, said that this is a guy that reminded him always of Cale Yarborough. All he wants to do is go faster. That's always the question, how can we get quicker? Well, he certainly is looking quick out here this afternoon as he continues to blitz this field.
Thanks, Ken. Our second Gatorade 125 rolls on after this.
Head to the mountains of Busch Beer. Proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series.
If you can't stop here, stop here for genuine Midas brakes. Now just $69.95 after rebate. Guaranteed nationwide for as long as you own your car. Next stop, go Midas. Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Good morning, Mr. Clark.
Morning, Tommy.
Amazing. That car never ages.
To help keep your car young, protect your engine with Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. Add more life to your car.
The hells we have lived through and live through still have sharpened our senses and toughened our will. The night has been long. This morning, I looked through your anguish right down to your soul. I know that together we can be made whole. And still, we rise.
This CBS Sports Race Summary is sponsored by Gatorade. It's in NASCAR. Is it in you?
42 laps down, 8 to go. Ricky Rudd has led them all. His average speed, 188.048 miles an hour, and we've been caution-free. Battle for the bubble. Robert Presley, Ed Barrier. Back there at 15th position. And Rick Mast. On the left side of your screen is Mast 41. Presley is the boy on the bubble right now, and here comes Ed Barrier, the rookie, driving for ageless Junie Donlevy out of Richmond, Virginia, and he has taken Presley after sniffing a draft off the lapped car of Norm Benning.
Did a great job of picking up the draft from that lap car and went right on by Robert Presley, who has been struggling, and now he's moving up on Rick Mast.
Remember, Presley's speed will get him into the Daytona 500. But Barrier would have had to race his way in, and he may have done just that. Well, the 3 GM cars, the Chevy of Skinner, the Pontiac, there of Burton, and the Chevy of Earnhardt have linked up, but can they do anything with Ricky Rudd? Bill?
Mike, the strategy for Dale Earnhardt Jr. really seems to be playing out. He just told Tony Eury on the radio, verbatim, "I've got plenty of tire left," to Ralph Shaheen.
During the week, a lot of the drivers go out in packs together and spend a lot of time drafting. They try to remember what the other drivers' characteristics were. Larry McReynolds just reminded Mike Skinner he spent a lot of time running with Ricky Rudd. Try to remember what tricks he showed you in those days of practicing, and you can use them in the finish here.
Buddy, would it pay Ricky Rudd to not get too far ahead of Mike Skinner so that he can't get a big run on him?
You're exactly right. You don't want them to get a distance between you, because the two cars, if they're really hooked up and they're able to run the preferred line, they can catch you so much quicker, because the further back you are, the more the air turbulates behind these cars. Just like there, they run him down from about 6 or 7 car lengths.
Dick Berggren?
A voice just came down from on high to Earnhardt Jr. It was Earnhardt Sr. He asked, "Where is your line?" He didn't wait for an answer. He just said, "Go there." Let's watch Jr. see if he can.
5 laps to go in the second Gatorade 125 to set the second half of the field for the Daytona 500. Folks, it's a lot like you trying to pass a slow car on a 2-lane road. If you get too close up behind him, you can't get a run and make a pass and get back in line. You have to leave a gap. And we'll see if those GM cars have left that much of a gap, or maybe too much of a gap.
Well, Ricky Rudd got an awfully big gap there. I don't know if it was his doing or the GM cars. Mike Skinner closes back in, but the Pontiac was not able to come with Mike Skinner going into turn 3. He's going to have that help.
And I'm watching Earnhardt Jr. now. He is not able to keep that car down like he should, and he's running way, way high. He flies down the straightaway, but in the center part of the corner, he's losing 4 or 5 car lengths to the guys that he's drafting with.
And they tighten back up again. Robert Yates wins the Gatorade 125, 1991 with Davey Allison, 94 with Ernie Irvin, and 96. 97 with Dale Jarrett. Tommy Baldwin, son of a modified racer from Long Island, worked on his dad's cars, came south, and now he's one of the top crew chiefs in the business. Ward Burton, his driver, sits in 3rd.
Those 4 cars have broken away a little bit from the next group of cars, which includes Michael Walton leading then, with 4 cars in the second group as well. And one of those is Derek Cope. I've been really impressed with him. He dropped way back and has come right back up there and is battling with the front pack.
There's not a sponsor on that black car today, Ned. You bet there will be some on Sunday. Ralph?
Mike Skinner just radioed into his crew chief, said, "Tell Ward Burton spotters to get word to Ward to stay with me. If he does, we'll catch him," he thinks.
Well, it looks like he's going to stay with him this time down the back stretch. Let's see how much ground they can make up.
Looking back from Mike Skinner.
That's not as far as it looks on your television screen right there.
No, it's about 16 feet. There it is.
That's the true shot right there. The one thing I am noticing about Earnhardt now, he is getting with the 22 car. They're looking to the outside of Skinner just for a second there.
And that's just got to frustrate Mike Skinner. Derek Cope battling Nemechek and Jeff Burton. Race for 6th place. 2 laps to go. Dick Berggren, do those 3 GM cars have anything for Ricky Rudd's Ford?
Don Hawk from Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s pit has just come to the 22 car of Ward Burton and explained to him they just can't keep the car to the bottom of the racetrack. And the 22 said, let's do what we can. Let's try to hook up, stay in line. But Earnhardt Jr. has fought tire troubles all day. He's been pushing all day. Cannot stay at the bottom. That's not fast. Mike?
White flag, Dick. 1 lap to go. Ricky Rudd with a 4-car length lead. Maybe the biggest he's had today.
And some traffic in front of him that could help him, Mike, as he catches up to them a little bit going into turn 1 down there to give him some help. Maybe just what he needs to not have to worry about those cars behind him linking up and going past him. We'll see.
And the other thing he's doing is looking in that mirror, making sure where his competition's at. And right now, the car is working so well. You see him move over there to take some of the draft away from 2nd place, 3rd place, and 4th place cars. But this is his race to lose right now because he's so good in the corners. Look at him. He made about a 4-car length lead right there on Mike Skinner in 2nd, just getting into that corner.
They won't catch the lap traffic before they come to the finish line. Rudd off turn 4 with a 4-car length lead. Upside down on Sunday, right side up all the way to victory lane. Ricky Rudd wires it. Green flag to checker to win his Gatorade 125. Mike Skinner is 2nd. Ward Burton is 3rd. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is 4th. And John Andretti, number 43, comes across to take the 15th and final transfer spot from this 125-mile qualifying race.
So Marcus finished out of the top 15 here today, and I don't think his speed is good enough to get him in the race. The only thing would be a possibility of provisional, and that's a remote possibility.
So Marcus, for the first time in 33 years at Daytona, may have to load up and go home.
Well, that's too bad.
We'll be back to celebrate Ricky Rudd's first Daytona victory.
Styling of the new Vulcan 1500 Drifter takes you back to another time. The engineering makes sure you don't get stuck there. Vulcan, only from Kawasaki.
The sun is out. The leaderboard is stacked at the Riviera Country Club in Pacific Palisades, California, where Tiger Woods, after a double bogey on the previous hole, had this for birdie at 14. He is even for the day and 5 behind the leader, Bob Tway, who took the lead outright at the 4th. Tway is the leader, but there are 44 players within 5 shots of the lead, including Duvall, Woods, and Couples. Golf coming up later. Right now, let's go back to Daytona.
Ricky Rudd is in victory lane at Daytona. Here's Ken Squire.
Pulls off the steering wheel, the helmet, disassembles some of the radio equipment here. Ricky, there's only one question to be asked. Did you show us everything you had?
Man, that was it, Ken. I thought those guys were laying back, and they were. They're trying to get a run at me, and you know, this Robert Yates, Doug Yates, Mike McSwain, all these guys, they did a heck of a job on this new Texaco Haviland Taurus. I got to get used to saying all these new words, but I rolled them off there pretty good. But you know, it's just great to have a fast race car. I mean, I've been coming to Daytona 20-some years, and I've never had a car that run like this. It's just, I don't know what to say, but thank you to all these guys.
Congratulations on a beautiful race. Now let's go to Dick Berggren.
With Dale Earnhardt Jr., you are in the Daytona 500, my friend.
Yeah, I was happy about that. I tell you what, man, I was so nervous about making this race, and I knew that we had a good car. I want to thank my dad for everything, all the effort he's put forth to make this team competitive so quickly. He has not left any stone unturned trying to make us as fast as we can. Richie Gilmore, my head engine guy, built a good powerhouse, and that's something we surely need today. And we worked real hard getting the push out of the car off the corner in practice, and Tony and the guys and myself, we kind of got together and worked with some things. It made the car kind of free. I mean, it's bouncing around through the middle, 3 and 4, pretty good, a little loose up high, but I didn't want to be behind those guys and get tight, so kind of hung the right front out all I could and keep the right front tire on the car.
Great job. We'll look for you on Sunday.
The first 15 finishers transfer into Sunday's Daytona 500. Rudd, Skinner, Burton, and Earnhardt, the front 4. Michael Waltrip, Cope, Jeff Burton, and Nemechek. Kenny Irwin, Jerry Nadeau, Jimmy Spencer, and rookie Matt Kenseth will be in the 500, along with Ed Barrier, Rick Mast, and John Andretti. Robert Presley's speed should get him in, but all the rest of these drivers will have to depend on their time trial speed or their car owner championship points from 1999 for a Daytona 500 starting berth. When we come back, we will set the starting lineup for Sunday's 500.
It's tough to put your finger on it. That's something that powers some to get anything done. But when somebody's got this kind of drive, you'll know. Just look at their truck. Welcome to Ford country, land of the Indestructibles, home of the F-Series, and stomping ground of the all-new Super Crew. It's out to take on anything. Just bring it on.
CBS Sports presentation of the Gatorade 125 is sponsored by Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade. It's in NASCAR. Is it in you? And by Kawasaki Motorcycles. Let the good times roll.
And welcome back to the 2.5-mile Daytona International Speedway, where all is in readiness, or just about, for the 42nd running of the Daytona 500 tomorrow. Ken Squire with you with an update on Jeffrey Bodine, victim of that terrible crash in that truck race yesterday. A lot of broken bones, but to Dr. Kennedy this morning, he said, "Do you think you can get me ready for Rockingham next Sunday?" Very doubtful. We had a great 300-mile race earlier this afternoon. Matt Kenseth of Wisconsin pulled it off, defeating Nemechek and Terry Labonte. There was plenty of action. Take a look at this. Chad Chaffin collects, among others, Hut Strickland, Ron Hornaday, Adam Petty, Casey Atwood, Elton Sawyer, all walked away from this crash. And look at this sidewinder. That's the number 7 of Michael Waltrip. 8 times he goes side over side coming out of the tri-oval here at Daytona. Less than an hour later, after this terrible crash, he was in the number 7, ready to start 10th in tomorrow's Daytona 500. Happy hour is continuing at this time, that final opportunity to tune and see just how good, how strong you're going to be for tomorrow's race. And take a look at the grid for tomorrow's race. And as you look at it, let's go to Mike Joy.
Well, Ken, let's see if our CBS Sports crew can pick a winner for tomorrow's 500, and I'll start with two-time NASCAR champion Ned Jarrett.
Mike, even though Jeff Gordon has jumped up to the top of the speed chart here in happy hour, and he won the race last year, I'm going to go with Dale Jarrett. He starts on the pole. He's got a fast car, and he's won this thing twice. I think he can do it again.
1980 500 winner Buddy Baker.
I would have to go with Ricky Rudd. He's no longer a car owner. His mind's on driving. He's got a great car. Robert Yates Ford. I think he has the temperament and the ability to win the Daytona 500.
He had to fold his team last fall. He got flipped on his lid on the last lap last Sunday. Wouldn't it be neat if Ricky Rudd in his 23rd try could finally win the 500? Dick Berggren?
Last year, Rusty Wallace led the most laps in the Daytona 500, but he didn't win it. He led the most laps here in July. He didn't win it. This year, he has a better car than for either of those two races, and I think tomorrow he's going to drive it right here into victory lane. Terrell Shaheen.
Well, I think Dale Jarrett's new pit crew is going to be a big advantage for him, but I think it's going to be Ricky Rudd who's going to be the first-time winner here, Bill Stevens.
Well, you know, only 7 drivers in history have won a twin 125 and then won the Daytona 500 in the same year. 3 of them are in the field tomorrow. Dale Earnhardt, Sterling Marlin, and my pick, Bill Elliott. Back to you, Ken.
Well, after 20 years, I'm a Ricky Rudd supporter. Waddell Wilson once said, this guy has more fire to go to the front, and he certainly has the equipment with which to do it when he starts in the front row alongside Jarrett for the 42nd running of the Great American Race. Live, Flag the Flag, here on CBS. We sure hope you'll be along for the ride. Golf is next on CBS this afternoon.